What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? It is episode 349 of Pop Culture Crisis. I just heard whistling. And my name is Brett. I'm here with my co-host. Would you introduce yourself, please?
Hello, Crisis Actors. It's Mary. It's been an absolutely chaotic day in the studio before we started. But hopefully it's going to be a chill show today. And we've got a guest in the studio. Hello, Surge.
What's up, guys?
How you doing, buddy?
Doing great. I'm actually doing great. Yeah.
We have the urge to surge.
Yeah.
We need to get you like your own intro with like one of those old Surge soda commercials where the guy goes Surge and they all run down the hill. Have you seen those?
Yeah, that's a good one.
Like commercials in the 90s were basically meth. Like it was the best part of the 90s. It was like every commercial was done by a dude named Colin wearing Oakleys who made a bunch of meth in a trailer park. It was fantastic. It was my favorite time to be alive.
Two things on that. You remember those Oakleys that like came over your head and they were like silver?
Yeah,
those were sick.
Basically Chronicles of Riddick.
Right? Yeah, literally. And then second thing on that, do you remember there was, it was like maybe a couple years ago, if I want to say 5 or 6 years ago, someone redid a 90s commercial. Okay, so Capri Sun had those commercials where you like turn into like Quicksilver.
Yeah.
And they'd like whatever.
Yes.
And then they remade it, but it's like a scary thing where like the kids turn into Quicksilver and they return back into humans, but they're all like malformed and like this monster. And
probably because they got like better at making those special effects.
Yeah.
Now.
It is wild.
Cheaper.
It was wild. Anyways.
Dude, we got a bunch of stuff to talk about today. MrBeast has come out and thrown his support down for Chris Tyson. We will get into that. We're going to talk a little bit more about what the ramifications of this whole situation are. And I want to do that in as charitable and kind a way as possible because people, of course, when we talked about this initially, people are like assuming that we're being really, really rude. And I'd like to think that we weren't being really, really rude, that we looked at it from a fairly analytical point of view. So we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about AI Drake, who can't seem to catch a break. Regular Drake can't catch a break. You know why? Because not only is there AI Drake, there's Nightclub Drake. Have you ever seen that guy?
Nightclub Drake?
Yeah, there's a guy who looks like Drake who goes to nightclubs and basically picks up.
You told me about this guy.
Yeah, AI Drake is now a thing. Drake can't catch a break.
Drake can't catch a break.
Can't catch a break.
I was thinking like if Nightclub Drake hooks up with a chick from the club and she thinks it's Drake, real Drake.
Yeah.
Is that consensual?
I have no idea. That's a very good question. Like, would that be considered a consensual act? Because I guess it would be no different than giving someone a fake name. Maybe it's payback. Maybe he was one of those guys who got a bunch of who got a bunch of girls that would send him fake, like when he'd ask for their phone number, they'd give him fake phone numbers.
Oh, he's just getting him back.
Yeah, he's getting them back. So we're going to talk about that. He has music. There's an AI Drake tirade of music that keeps coming out lately. So we're going to talk about that. Cenat has been kicked off of Twitch again, and this time, you all right there, buddy?
Yeah, I'm fine. Just reasoning myself.
Okay.
Yeah,
Cenat has gotten banned off Twitch. A lot of people are wondering whether that means he's going to kick, whether that means why he was banned. I've seen a couple of different competing theories. Kellen had a lot to say on this matter, so we will talk about that as well. You're going to have to talk for Kellen. Remember we talked about this last night, like after IRL. Yeah.
Yes.
So we're going to talk about that. And then J.K. Rowling is back in the news because another boycott. They're starting their own boycott. Everyone, conservatives are boycotting Bud Light, and weirdos on Twitter are boycotting J.K. Rowling's show that's 2 years away from coming out.
I'm pretty sure that trans people are also boycotting Bud Light right now because of their apology that they posted.
The non-apology apology.
And the fact that they allegedly donated to anti-trans groups,
which is what
in the past, and I don't know what that means. Probably similar to the Chick-fil-A situation.
It's just a world of boycotts. Everybody's boycotting something.
If Chick-fil-A ever donated to an organization that's publicly Christian, they would probably say the same thing, right?
So, most likely. So we got a bunch of stuff to get into. Mary, are you ready to get right going?
I'm ready.
Let's do this.
I did that because the other night when I was on IRL, like nobody gave me an audio cue to start talking, so it just kind of sat on me for a second, and I looked really stupid. It's like everyone does their intros, and I'm just like, oh, it's my turn to start talking, and then it's that painful
The
silence.
order does seem kind of random.
Yes.
It is. I think it's also because there's an irregular start off for you.
And I was sitting in Ian's seat, not in third chair.
Right. Exactly.
So, yeah.
It does go clockwise from Tim. Yeah.
Well,
but it's okay.
I'll get it next time.
Yeah. It's
all right. So Andrew Tate is back in the news, and it's because people are making fun of him because they believe that he has faked being in a scalding hot sauna. Thoughts, guys?
It said it was like 50 degrees Celsius.
Mary, I got to fix your.
What's wrong?
Oh man. Okay, so watch it. We're gonna have to sit on the screen for a minute here. Remember when you were out of town the other day? Last week on Friday, we did people in 3 chairs here.
Okay.
And I moved a camera, so watch when we go to this
I
one.
went to chair
yeah,
cam.
so here, watch this. I can fix
Empty
it.
chair cam, let's go.
I can fix it. There we go.
Okay,
and
I'm
we're
here.
back.
I'm back.
Welcome back.
Yeah, but I can only gather from this image that they sprayed him with water to
Most
look
likely.
like he was sweating.
Well, no, because you're saying that it was hotter. You're
Right.
saying that this is fake news, that it was not 50 degrees Fahrenheit, it was
But
50 degrees Celsius.
But the thermostat is right there.
But does it say
Right,
Celsius?
but this is a common case of American exceptionalism where Americans come out and
$20
say,
one, Mary, right there.
Oh.
they all say that like
Hold on, we got a $20 one.
Sorry,
Go for it.
okay,
Shane
sorry.
H. Wilder said, I should have listened to Mary. I just got back from the Pope's exorcist and it besmirched Father Immorth. I read his memoirs and he was nothing like that. Try the Devil and Father Immorth documentary directed by William Friedkin.
Okay.
I've never heard of that, but I'll look into it.
Now, where were we? You were talking about it. You said this is a common mistake.
Oh yes. So I'm sure that it does say 50 degrees, but if it's a Romanian guy, or if it's in Romania, which is EU, I don't know if it's EU,
Okay.
Eastern Europe, and he's also a British guy, I would not expect him to have a Fahrenheit thermometer.
Yeah.
Right. So it
Right.
could say 50, but if it's 50 centigrade or 50 Celsius, that's hot.
What is it?
50C is like 110, 112, 113.
I'm asking you because you're Mr. Worldwide.
Mr. Worldwide in the
I
place.
can't see.
Okay.
It's not. It doesn't have a listing for C or F there on the thing.
Right, because I'd assume most of the world uses
Yeah.
centigrade and Celsius, except for like the U.S.
we love our American exceptionalism
Right.
here.
That's a
where
bit-
we only
bit of a bit,
use
but-
millimeters when we're talking about bullets and.
right. So that's what I think happened. I think people saw that and they were, they're out for blood for Andrew, which I understand. But I think the issue is that people didn't realize that it's 50 centigrade, which is hot.
Okay. So this was fake news about Andrew Tate, but we have more
I
fake
think so.
news
We
about
have
Andrew
we
Tate.
have more fake news about Andrew Tate, where he is apparently broke.
Courtesy of
Are
Much
we good?
Dank.
Yes, if you guys watch Much Dank, you'll understand.
No.
Why not?
You guys need to help me.
How so?
I need money. I'm not actually rich.
No way.
Yeah, it's all a fucking scam.
How long do you think it
Even my
takes to
hat.
make these? I'm just wondering.
No idea. I've actually
House is a
wondered for a
scam.
while.
What do you mean by that?
I live in a Toyota Camry.
Whoa.
Yeah, but
Toyota.
I need an iPhone.
How much would that cost?
100, 150.
That's a very cheap iPhone. I'm just saying. Somebody earlier said, "Why does Mary have 2 iPhones on the table?" And
I knew they were gonna overanalyze
your-
my multiple phone
your
situation.
your drug dealer phone that
I have
everyone
3
now.
phones at this point.
Yeah.
Can we kick it for a little bit? We'll smoke a cigar out there and talk about it?
Yeah, no problem.
So how do you morally cheat?
Here's the thing. You don't.
Really?
Look, I could sleep with thousands of women. I just think it's boring.
For real?
Yeah. I'd rather fuck dudes. Fuck yes.
How does that work?
Well, I'm a man of God. I read the Bible.
I think he would. Do you think he would get a kick out of this? You
Yes.
think he has a sense of humor?
Yes,
he
I
has a
think he
sense
would
of
laugh.
humor. This wouldn't bother him.
Especially the reverb.
Yeah,
The reverb tail right
when,
there. Was
yeah,
great.
when it sounds like he's down at the bottom of a well.
Yeah.
I go
Yes.
to church.
That's awesome.
But I also suck a little bit of dick. But this is why God wants the men, the masculine males of earth, to fuck dudes.
Thoughts,
Oh
Mary?
man. Oh,
No,
man.
keep going.
All day.
What parable is that in?
Shut up.
Okay.
But who's doing anal?
For me, because I'm a bottom,
Really?
which means I'm the one getting plowed.
So God's looking down right now and he's like, boys, I just want you to run through. Boys,
Yeah.
what about, have you ever dated a girl?
No, because men are women, but better.
Would you ever date a girl?
No.
Ever.
I love that reverb
No!
tail. It's great.
That's cap.
Girls are disgusting and they're smelly.
That is true. That is true. I think girls do.
Shut the fuck up.
Okay. It's too long. It's too. The video's too long. I get a kick out
I
of
don't
it.
know. The
think he
vibe
would
I
a
get
kick out
from
of it.
Andrew Tate is that he's not able to laugh at himself very much.
You don't think so?
Because he's always doing the rebuttals.
Rebuttal.
Like,
yeah.
I would hope
On
he would have a
Twitter, they
sense
were
of
just
humor.
accusing him of using steroids, I guess. After he posted a mirror selfie, and he was just like, "No, I am a god amongst men."
See,
like,
I watch that stuff and I think
I'm
it's
not
half,
like you.
It's like
I don't
half a
take
joke.
steroids. It's like I don't know. I just don't picture him laughing at people razzing on him on social
Well,
media.
you have to be able to laugh at yourself.
But
It's
if I went to
important.
jail with no windows in my jail cell for 3 months, I wouldn't be laughing about anything.
That's fair. That's a fair point.
That's a good point. Yeah.
All right. Guys, if you didn't know, Netflix just had a bunch of information come out. Did you know, guys, that Netflix is just now canceling their DVD by mail service?
Now?
Just now, 1.1 million people still use the DVD by mail service, brings in like $145 million a year.
Right.
Did they buy Redbox?
I have no
Or is that
idea.
a
Dude,
separate
you know what this
thing?
means, guys? We need to just start our own DVD by mail service. Like we've got a market cap to
Well,
fill
that's
now.
still a thing. It's just
a
small
million people.
businesses are gonna have. I mean, maybe this is a good thing for other businesses.
We can
that
start
do the same thing.
Setflix, and we can just make our own, or net films. We'll make net films, and we will start mailing DVDs to people, and we'll only order like 5. They said,
How about we just make it Netflix, but it'll actually be CKS at the end instead of
yes,
X?
we
I
could
have a
do
great
that.
name. Well, let's call it Flixnet. Let's just turn it around.
Flix.
Oh,
We
that's
just
good.
flip it.
That's
Yeah.
good.
We use blue instead of red.
They said that the
Sorted.
reason that people use this is because they had more like obscure titles that weren't on streaming services.
I've heard it's like older titles that have been
Yeah,
discontinued.
so like older movies that just aren't that maybe just don't need to be taking up space on a server somewhere, I guess, but they have copies
Like
of it.
Birth of a Nation.
Maybe, yeah. Well, yeah, or no, maybe that's where all of like the problematic movies go to, like
Gone
Disney,
with the Wind,
Disney,
Blazing Saddles.
Freddie got
Disney
fingered.
gives them Disney gives them what's the one that everybody hates now that you're not allowed to talk about?
Oh, Song of the
Yeah,
South.
like Disney just like rents out Song of the South to them to like mail to people.
Redbox exists because there are still a lot of areas in the country that have bad internet.
Yeah.
And that's where we are.
Video stores still exist in a lot of those places.
Yeah.
Like you can there's like still like home video stores.
Yeah, I've been in that Blockbuster. I think it's in Oregon. Pretty sure it's in Oregon. Before it closed. I don't know if it closed, but that
No,
was a
it
couple
closed.
years ago. Yeah, that was like 3 or 4 years ago.
One of the last ones that was open got turned into like an Airbnb.
Oh, that would be
Did-
sweet.
Did
Yeah.
Blockbusters sell porn?
Yes. Oh, I don't know.
I don't
video,
think they did.
I don't think
Video
they did.
Update
No.
You
did.
gotta.
You'll get used to it. Video Update did, which was another video chain
no.
store that was by my place in Minnesota. And Hollywood Video did, I believe, as well.
Hollywood Video
But
did.
Blockbuster
Yes.
didn't.
No,
Yeah.
Blockbuster did not.
my
Hollywood
understanding.
Video did. Blockbuster did not.
I don't know. Somebody in the chat might be able to. Are
And
you
they
sure
still
about
rose
that?
to the top of the food chain.
Are you
but
sure about that they
it's
didn't sell it?
temporary.
I have no idea. I wasn't old enough when I was going to Blockbuster.
I
to
feel
go.
like I would not have ever been taken to a Blockbuster as a child
Pro.
if that were the case, and I was taken to Blockbuster as a child.
I'm
So
almost positive Blockbuster didn't have that.
I'm
Hollywood Video
leaning toward
did.
that too.
All right. Oh, now somebody in the chat says softcore. So they
Did they?
Ooh,
there you go.
I did not know that.
There
But
you
now
go.
that's just everything that's on Netflix.
yeah. It's just called the
Like-
the Showtime or Cinemax
true.
section.
Like the pillow scene.
yes, from Obsession and Netflix, guys.
What is Obsession? Is it just you,
Yeah,
but different?
basically. And it's like a guy goes into a hotel room and he's like looking for some trace of this girl, and he like catches her scent on a pillow and basically humps the pillow. And like Netflix made them put like a disclaimer on it.
I just
Like imagine being that actor. He's like, this is what it's. But here's the thing: that actor is probably like, this is art, bro. This
that's
is art.
yeah, that's where you're losing me. Like it's art, bro. You just
Ort,
don't understand art.
It's like art.
It's
art.
artistic.
It's artistic.
I
So
don't know that.
To show people cooming on screen, it's art.
is
It's
that
so
two
weird.
O's or two U's?
2 O's.
2 O's.
Like
Coom.
okay boomer. It's like okay coomer.
Like Zoomer, Coomer, Boomer,
Coomer,
No
doomer,
thanks on either.
Doomer, etc.
Also, guys,
So many now.
I'm starting to think that everything that's going on with Jonathan Majors is like a weird plant, right? Marvel has not left him yet, but he just lost another movie, and he lost his deal as an ambassador for the Texas Rangers. It's like, dude, Hollywood is full of degenerates. We just covered yesterday he lost his role in a Dennis Rodman documentary. He's got all of these things, and things keep falling through on the guy. I literally don't get
Yeah.
it. Like, I'm
Okay,
not
he
saying
lost The
Yeah.
Man in My Basement,
Yes.
the ad for the Texas Rangers, also Otis Redding biopic.
Yes.
And he got dropped by management, his talent agency, and his PR firm.
Whoa.
Dude, it's time for him to just be like, my name is they them.
Oh, he also lost a brand deal with Valentino,
and he's not invited to the Met Gala.
and he got disinvited from the Met Gala, yes. But reportedly Marvel is still not talking about dropping him at this stage.
Too much invested. They've got more invested in him than the other companies do. But he's going to have to start and be just like, my name is Jonathina, and I'm a they them. He's gonna need to become Jonah.
Yeah,
my
Jonathan.
Jonathan.
Sounds good to me.
Majora.
Yeah, he's gonna have to be something else and just pretend like he's non-binary if he wants to just get all. You'll get all of these deals back right away.
Yeah, maybe, but it's like a lot of people are blaming this on racism.
I don't see.
They're
racism
comparing him
worse.
to
It
all the worst ones.
Maybe
like,
it could be.
They're comparing him to like Louis C.K., Dana White. Ezra Miller is the obvious one because he's in a superhero franchise.
2 white guys, huh?
Roman Polanski.
Another white guy.
Who else? There's also like Woody Allen, Al Franken.
But a lot. I forgot about it. I'm from Minnesota, so I forgot about Al Franken. Like
there are so many examples. It's hard to count, and that's why it's weird that this particular situation, where he's not even been convicted of anything,
no crime
and not
convicted.
even charged of anything.
Yeah.
No, he has been charged.
I thought that the girl
but-
didn't want to press charges.
It doesn't matter. The DA pushed forward.
Oh, okay.
He has been charged.
Yeah. But he has not been proven guilty of any criminal wrongdoing.
Not at all.
And
Wow.
the woman that allegedly was his victim doesn't even corroborate that story.
Nope.
So why is this the one that the media picked up?
I'm gonna ask the chat. We're gonna
I don't
ask
get
like,
it.
what
But I'm just kind of tired of the tweets that are like, sounds about white. Look at all these other white guys who got away with abuse scandals and had opportunities after the fact.
I'm asking the community, and I'm not capitalizing anything. I'm typing this quickly. Is Jonathan Majors' downfall an overreaction? I feel like it is. It feels weirdly over the top, given that he hasn't been convicted of anything, and Hollywood is full of degeneracy.
It makes me think that there's an ulterior motive that, I don't know, maybe has more to do with attacking Disney because he's a part of that conglomerate.
Possibly.
That could be. It could also be. It's just, is Marvel Disney? Are they owned by?
Yes. Yep.
So would it be because Disney is trying to say, well, anyone accused of this would be, we want to distance ourselves from them. We don't want to have anyone that has anything to do with this at all because we're a kids brand.
Yeah, but they're like, Disney is not exactly doing great these days either. Like, they're not hurting for money, but they're not doing fantastic. It's not like they want bad press right this second.
Is he a very, I haven't seen Ant-Man 3.
He's somebody who's on the rise right now. It happened at a time where he was getting, Creed 3 just came out. So he was in Creed 3. He was in a movie called Devotion. He's obviously in Ant-Man. So he's getting, his stars on the rise, and it feels like he's just getting cut right at the top.
And this is something that's going to get brought up in the future for the rest of his career.
Yes,
probably.
Absolutely.
But I don't know, like sometimes you're able to get past that, but he's been dropped by his PR firm, which we were saying just makes his PR firm look bad because they're not capable of handling a PR crisis.
Right.
There's some music example. There's some like DJs that have gone through similar things like this, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Like what would be a good example of that?
I think maybe modern example would maybe like Moon Boy.
Okay.
He was like a dubstep DJ out of Hollywood, I believe. I'm not really in the dubstep
Wasn't there
world,
somebody
but,
trying to say something about Steve Aoki recently? Or am I completely misremembering
Was it
that?
Diplo? I might have been Steve
No,
Aoki.
Diplo. It definitely came out about Diplo. We talked about that when we were talking about Dan Schneider stuff.
Do you think the music industry is like way more excusing of scandals like this? Because like think about Dr. Luke and all the people who are still working with him.
Right.
After the Kesha.
Yeah, right.
allegations.
I think two things. I think the music industry is way more of a crabs in a barrel type situation where people will view it as like a zero-sum game. There's only so much to go around, when in reality, and I can understand that. I've definitely felt like that as well making music. So they're more likely to try and ledge accusations, to try and bring down a person that they view as having taken their slot, so to speak. I remember there was also Bass Nectar, if you guys remember this.
Yes, I like bass. I like the music.
Right. There was
Butterfly is a great song.
Right. There's a lot that came out about him because he had been preying upon his younger fans for quite some time. That I'd say was...
How long ago was that?
I not even that long ago.
Younger, like kids?
Not children. Not children. I don't know if they were like, I think they were like 16, 17, I think. I don't remember, and I don't want to say this and not be able to back it up, corroborate what I'm saying. But again, it's something that it's kind of like the open secret. Like everyone knows in Hollywood that what's his name?
Harvey Weinstein.
Harvey Weinstein is, problematic. He's weird. He does this stuff.
$20 one right there, Mary.
Oh, from Olivia Claire.
Yes.
She said, "Hi, Mary and Brett. Serge, good to see you back on PCC. What are your opinions on Carl from MrBeast influencing Chris? People have said that Carl feminized Chris. Also, if MrBeast was trans, would he be Mrs. Beast?"
That's a fantastic question. Beast them. I don't know.
Serge, what do you think?
Well, maybe we should save this. For
save your thoughts on Carl for later.
For the topic, Olivia. We will get to it when we get. We might as well save it for the topic.
Okay.
All
right. Now back to it. So
I was talking about Base Nectar.
Yeah.
The fans were the issue was that they were younger fans, because obviously if he was a DJ and he was talking to women that were over the age of 18, it wouldn't have been a situation at all. But again, open secret. Everyone kind of like knows, like that's kind of what's been going on. But it's like why wasn't it brought up earlier?
Yeah.
Why wasn't it an issue earlier? And then only eventually someone comes out and says this, because also the fans that are doing that may not even want to say that they are like, this is a bad, they don't view it as a bad thing, so to speak.
And a lot of people just might not be
right.
And a lot of people just might not know because they're not terminally online.
Yes.
Like a lot of it's not like a lot of this stuff is coming out in mainstream news on the regular.
Yeah, if ever.
Or how
if
many
ever.
people even watch. Like, do you know anybody our age who sits down and legitimately watches like CNN for anything other than just to the topics that we cover? Like, like we have to watch, like I do end up watching CNN or Fox or MSNBC stuff if it's stuff that we're talking about like on IRL, but it's not like I get up every morning and turn on the news. That's just I read enough all
There are
day.
too many famous people now, and they're all doing
Yeah,
improper things, and you can't possibly pay attention to all of it.
And they're like famous for no reason either. They're all just
not for no reason, but it's like, think about all the people who are on Raya.
Yeah.
Like,
oh man, that's a good point. I never really thought about that.
there's just so many
famous for
quote
fame's
unquote famous people out there.
Yeah.
And they're all doing sketchy stuff.
It's like a numbers game thing. If you make everybody famous, like you're gonna end up with some people that are deplorables, so to speak.
So far,
no matter what.
77% say the reaction to Jonathan Majors is an overreaction. It feels like an overreaction to me. Maybe it's because the stories keep coming out at like perfect intervals. Like every day, some new group that was once affiliated with him is like, sorry, we're cutting ties. Maybe if all of this happened at once, it would seem tragic, but like
It's Kanye-esque.
yeah.
But at the same time, nobody came to bat for Kanye and said that was some kind of racial animus targeting him.
Well, I mean, because this time they have clear-cut examples like Ezra Miller, but everyone knows that has nothing to do with race. And yet, at least I'm not saying that the Jonathan Majors situation doesn't have anything to do with race. I can't speak to whether that's true or not. I don't know. But I do know that the comparison to Ezra Miller has nothing to do with race. It has to do with Ezra's gender identity.
Yeah.
It's got nothing to do with the fact that Ezra Miller's white. In fact, if Ezra Miller could say he wasn't white, he probably would. He would love that if he could make that claim.
Yeah, I imagine he would.
Isn't he like...
Is he part Cherokee? I don't know.
Some part...
No, the girl that he was...
No, I know.
Yeah.
I
I don't think he
But
is.
that was it was always weird to me that he was like hanging out on like doing
He was
activism
at
for
right.
the
the Native
reservation.
American reservation.
Yeah.
Wasn't that
That's where
because
he
of-
met that
Maybe
girl when she was like 12.
Oh, okay.
Here's the thing. Maybe if Jonathan Majors just maybe it was where it happened. Maybe these companies just don't like you doing it in the back of a taxi cab. If he had punched her in the face at a bar in Iceland, this would be
The taxi
fine.
cab thing is giving Chris Brown and Rihanna.
Yeah.
We're all like having flashbacks to that incident.
You ever heard the Bill Burr skit where he talks about how gold diggers are the wife beaters for men? But we don't have that Rihanna lumped up photo to show as evidence, so you can't understand. Yeah.
Wow.
There's a Bill Burr skit from like 10 years ago.
I don't remember that one, but
Yes.
common Bill Burr.
But like no, like maybe it's just location. Maybe they don't want you. They're like these companies. They're like, look, we don't care if you hit women. We just care if you hit women here in the U.S. That's the problem. If you want to hit women from Iceland, we don't care.
That's wild.
Maybe that's what it is. I'm
could
being
be.
I'm being facetious.
Maybe we
obviously.
need Tariq Nasheed to
We could use his-
contribute to this conversation about
Yeah.
buck breaking.
Buck breaking.
Anyway, I want to know if the chat thinks that there was an overreaction to Chris Tyson's gender transition.
Well, we'll have to do that tomorrow. As we got a poll going on right now. So
Yeah.
if people want to answer in the chat,
Yeah.
they can do that. All right, guys, we got a couple of other things. We got cringe of the day. Mary, are you ready to tell people what this cringe of the day was?
I'm ready.
All right.
This is from like a matchmaking video.
Oh, gosh.
Hi, I'm Tiffany.
Tiffany, I'm
Nice to
Dave.
meet you.
My pronouns are he and him, but I want to be yours.
My pronouns are he, him, but I want
I
to be
play
yours.
Valorant, so I've heard that a
Wait,
lot.
you play Valorant?
I do.
Will you carry me?
I need someone to carry me. Are you immortal?
No. I'm silver. What rank are you?
You're silver?
Yeah.
I'm plat.
God, I.
Hi, I'm Tiffany.
The green lines are telling. He's also, I'm not
Tiffany, I'm.
She's way more alpha
Dave.
than him.
I'm not getting straight man from him. I'm getting,
Neither is his
hey,
accent.
hey girl, I want to be
Yeah.
your gay best friend.
I'm trying to. I need a beard, girl. Like, what's up? Yeah, it's.
It reminds me. There's this voiceover actress that I really like named Tawny Plattis, and she's an SJW. I like her.
Okay.
I like her videos. She would probably hate my guts, but her pronouns are she them. So she's
She, they.
she's got she that no, you can't say her.
Wait, I thought that when
She,
people
they?
say she, they in the bio, it means you can call them she, her, or they, them.
I have no idea. Is that
That's
what that
what I
means?
thought.
Oh well, I'm just behind the times.
I think so. but-
Okay.
I saw some
You're
videos.
less progressive
So
than me.
I got to become more progressive, is what you're saying. If I want a chance with
But
Tawny,
that was just the worst pickup line I've ever heard.
that
Yeah,
was
do
Like,
you-
how
do
can
you
I
play
virtue
Valorant?
signal
Yep.
and hit on you at the same time?
I don't play any video games, right? And so whenever people talk about video games, like I know Valorant is a video game, right? Yeah, whenever people
It's
talk
a
about
video
video game, yeah, they talk about Overwatch and stuff like that. I'm like, I just don't know anything about it, and now I realize what it sounds like when I talk about music and audio and stuff like that.
to other people.
No, it's
I just
not
don't get it.
exactly the same.
But
Maybe
beauty-
not, but I just don't. I don't get it. Like I don't know what any of the. I recently started using the word PogChamp because I think it's funny.
yeah, it's
I heard that like for the
Pog
first time
star,
that
yeah.
and Mog and Pog recently.
Yeah,
Yeah.
mogging is a thing. I've been saying mog for a while. But yeah, but
Working with younger people keeps my vocabulary semi-fresh.
does,
Even though I
keeps
didn't know she, they meant you could say she, her, or they, them.
yeah.
is that what that means for real?
I'm
Is that
pretty
confirmed?
sure.
Wow,
There is a-
Any non-binary people in the chat, let us know.
I'm sure we have a very. I bet you we have at least one non-binary person with a sense of humor in
we've
the
got
chat.
one from Clef the
Statistically.
Misfit. He said the reason Ezra Miller was protected from blacklisting is because he claimed alphabet person status, making him untouchable. Majors should have come out as non-binary the day the scandal came out.
I don't think he would
Came
though.
out?
There was pushback from people because they thought that there was people that were kind of homophobic that didn't like the ad campaign stuff he was doing with Michael B. Jordan, saying that it was giving bad vibes they didn't like.
What vibes?
Like gay vibes.
Like he
And-
was gay.
Yeah, like they were saying stuff like that, and it was kind of
For-
ridiculous for doing this like ad campaign where they're like hugging and stuff like this.
Okay, I hate that. Like,
Yeah.
why can't men?
It was over the top. It was over the top and stupid. So, but Clef is right. If Majors was just like, look, you know what you do? You do what the people in the comic book industry do. You just say I'm bi, and they can never prove you wrong.
Yeah.
So was the ad campaign that he did legitimately like gay,
No.
or they were just
No, they're just
hugging?
friends. They're just like.
I hate that. Like
Yeah.
when everyone has to psychoanalyze male friendships.
Well, also no.
Like-
The one of the problems is for a lot of these people, for the people who are terminally online, the Tumblrites. If you have a guy, I literally watched a video from Zach the other day. He says if you've had any according to the comic book industry, if you're a guy and you've had a male friend for any length of time, it just means you're a raging homo. Literally what it said in the video said. Like you're not allowed to just have guy friends to a lot of these people because they're weird.
No. Right.
And you're not allowed to just have bros.
I regrettably looked at a subreddit for The Walking Dead, which is still active, and they were like, I wonder if
Regrettably.
if Daryl is bisexual. It hasn't been explained yet. It hasn't been really made explicit yet, but he could be bisexual.
He's never said, I don't want to suck a dude's dick. So, you know, that means it could possibly be true.
They said that because they took a while in the series for him to have a love interest of any kind.
Yeah.
And they were like, it's because he's gay.
It's
like,
a weird type of like sexualized pareidolia where they see it everywhere. Where they literally, it's like like they see it in everything,
Yeah.
and it becomes like their own weird part of like a doggy style whistle, if you will.
Oh no. Oh,
Doggy
no.
style whistle.
No.
Nice. That took me a second to process. I was like, what?
It's a dog whistle
Out of
of
pocket.
sorts. Yes,
Doggy style
it's a
whistle. I like
It's a
that.
dog whistle.
I'm gonna use that.
That they fall into their own trap of, and they end up getting kind of boxed into this weird world where they think about it as a part of everything, and it's just not a part of every story.
Sort of like how they think that the Christian right sees gay everywhere.
Yeah.
They
They
see
do.
gay everywhere.
Yeah, they see gay in everything. Literally.
All right, we've also got cute of the day, ladies and gentlemen, and everybody loves cute of the day. We got a couple here. Olivia Claire, who we're going to get to her super chat. She here says this is Mocha. She has an overbite that causes her tongue to stick out all the time. She brings so much joy in my life. Look at that.
That's so cute.
That is adorable.
I love the tongue.
Yeah, that's cute.
That is highly adorable. That is adorable.
Mocha is an interesting name.
I like it. All right, and then we've got this one here from Andrew Jacobs. Possible future cute of the day. No names on either of these. Oh no, I did. I literally asked them the names down here. Maisie and Miles.
Okay.
So there's Maisie.
I imagine it's Maisie. Yeah.
And that's Miles.
Miles is looking a little bit perturbed.
They're not happy with the
He looks
picture.
kind of mad.
No,
Yeah.
All right, we've got some
Thanks for the
cute of the day, and now we are going to get started with our discussion, and that's about MrBeast because this was a topic for us that became a little bit controversial recently. We had a
Well,
video
because
covering it.
We posted a short from our segment about Chris Tyson's transition, and it got more views than normally we would have expected, and it was from a lot of people who aren't familiar with our perspectives on these things. But we took great care in that segment to say we're not looking to pry into this person's private life.
Exactly.
We're dealing with what is already public information and talking about this from the perspective of how does news like this affect MrBeast's business and the way that he runs his channel.
It's a very reasonable question to ask, given that the channel itself is largely apolitical, and it becomes an anchor to something that's otherwise a very, very successful, and in a world that's hyper-polarized, apolitical. You know, it's an apolitical thing in a world that seems to be looking for politics everywhere. And that's not to. I have no opinion on to. I have my own opinions about Chris Tyson and his family that I can't speak of. And one of the problems about that is I don't know what his arrangement is with his wife that he's now split with. I don't know how often he sees his kid. I can't make value judgments on that because I'm not there.
And that's not even what this conversation is about. It's more about MrBeast and his response to it, because obviously there is a very close watch on him. And that's all we were pointing out, is that MrBeast, from a PR perspective, really kind of has no choice but to support unequivocally everything about Chris Tyson's transition journey, or whatever you want to call it.
And he's not allowed to not say anything.
Yeah,
that's the number.
He's not allowed to stay silent about it, and he's certainly not allowed to say anything critical of it.
He couldn't come out and be like, I love Chris, whoever he chooses to be, but it's a distraction from our business.
Yeah.
That's a very reasonable take that he's not allowed to have.
Violence is violence. So.
Do you think that Carl is to blame for this? To answer Olivia Claire's super chat.
Yes, she asked earlier.
Thoughts on Carl?
If he's to blame for,
People think that Carl feminized Chris Tyson, or that there was some kind of weird relationship that they had.
can I ask who Carl is?
He was like part of the MrBeast.
I know there's a whole bunch of them. I don't know
Yeah.
who they all are by name.
I don't think. I mean, I think it's a very, very off-putting to say that a person, like, maybe I'm just more focused on the individual, but if I make a major radical change in my life, that's on me,
Right.
and not on other.
Thank you.
God bless America.
Okay.
No, that's what he says in the Crisis Party Club. He goes, God bless America.
Yeah, I
love these.
don't
They're so
know
good.
about the take that
yourself.
Carl is like solely the reason that Chris Tyson made this irreversible decision. I think that
Yeah,
it's just a thing that is affecting more and more people, especially
And
social media.
A lot of
influencers.
people think that it's more to do with a world where people are looking to stay relevant because of the tweets that have come out about Chris Tyson, where he said a bunch of very, very polarizing.
You reviewed these tweets on the after show segment on IRL last night, so if any of you saw that, you know what we're talking about. But if you didn't,
yeah, it was on Monday night. You definitely can't put those on the screen.
No,
No.
it's 4chan level stuff.
Yes.
So, I mean, we covered this before that MrBeast and Chris Tyson made a video back in the day called I Identify as an Attack Helicopter.
Yeah.
And that obviously was a video made to clown on the beliefs that, you know, gender is fluid and a spectrum and that, you know, you can choose whatever pronouns you want and impose your identity on other people.
And just picture your...
And now the same thing seems to be happening.
And just picture now, you're Mr. Beast, you're closing all these deals, you've got his snacks are now in a bunch of stores, he's sending out people. Did you see the thing where he's like asking people to like straighten them out in stores? He's like, can you help me out? He's like, I'm gonna be hiring people to do this, but can you straighten them out and make sure they look good in the stores? He's got all of these business deals, brand deals. He runs a company that has a lot of moving parts, and this becomes a severe distraction.
Right.
And
I mean,
a good friend?
The gender transition stuff aside,
Yeah.
Chris Tyson's former, you know, offensive tweets are something to be addressed in and of themselves.
Yeah.
Regardless of what's happening right now.
I mean, those don't bother.
They're getting reposted because he's in the trending page and everything.
And people wonder if his choice to transition was
to shield
a cloak, a shield
Yes.
from the things he said in the past. I
I
don't know
get
if
a
I
feeling
buy
that it
that.
is.
I don't know if I buy that.
We were just talking about that with Ezra Miller, though.
Yeah.
And with Jonathan Majors, we joke
Yeah.
about it because it's stereotypically true.
Yeah.
That taking on some kind of identity,
Somebody
be
check
it
Jonathan Majors' Tumblr.
bisexual, non-binary, whatever, it does, in fact, shield you from criticism because you're part of this community that is marginalized.
Yes.
So, like, it's plausible.
Yeah.
It is. So he made this joke about getting aroused by mention of Adolf Hitler in the bedroom. I
Yeah.
won't quote it exactly.
You can look it up.
He made an offensive tweet about the Quran.
Yeah.
Uh,
In 9/11.
yeah, about 9/11.
Yep.
Classic 4chan jokes.
I mean,
There were
I
just, you know, boilerplate. Yeah, like kind of
play 4chan stuff.
And to be
edgy
fair,
humor.
like even if he doesn't
Exactly.
think like
Edgelord.
even if he's not looking for protection from the media, it does protect him from being fired to now change his identity. Like he's never going to get fired. I don't think he would be.
Right.
I don't think that he would be anyways. If
Yeah.
him and Jimmy have been friends for like a long time. I don't think he's getting fired anyways, but it does cloak him from the, you know, it does protect him from that happening if for some reason they had a falling out. People have falling outs in business all the time. They warn you, do not go into business with your friends because people become nasty when that much money is on the line.
Yeah.
It's a problem, right?
Yes,
so
definitely.
what do you do if you're worried that you're becoming replaceable or you're having severe arguments with your boss who runs a largely apolitical, non-polarizing type of business? I mean, it's a drastic thing to think that that's why he did this, but it's not outside the realm of possibility.
or there could be a mix of
Yeah,
motivations.
or he could be just like my bigger question is I do have more of an issue with not knowing the circumstances with his kid, that you said you're going to marry this woman forever and then you're just like, psych, I decided not to. I saw another thing today where a guy and a girl got married and the guy transitioned and they renewed their vows, but just both as women.
Yeah, it's just not a cool thing to do to someone.
That's the thing about it. The only thing that like the whole thing I've always that makes me want to push back against the idea that he's doing it to stay relevant, doing it as a shield, is that he does have a child. He was with his wife. I know they've separated a year ago. As we discussed. But if he was a single guy, he didn't have a wife, didn't have a child, and he was doing this stuff, I'd be like, oh well, you know, he's doing it as a shield for his previous behaviors, etc.
But do you think that the circumstances are too extreme that he actually believes it?
Well, what do you think is the reason?
The reason for why he is doing this, I think it could be that it's odd because I spoke about this on IRL too, or I think it was the after show.
Yeah.
You rarely see it go the opposite direction. You rarely see someone go to the left and then be red pilled and go to the that are on the right, generally speaking, get red pilled and go to the left. Like you don't see the blue pill in this case. You don't ever see that. It doesn't ever happen. Or it does, but it's very rare. So it's possible, but I wonder if maybe the reason. Okay, so I thought about this a lot last night. Not a lot, but I put some time aside to think about it. What if him and his wife separating occurred, and then as a way for him to essentially get back at his wife, assuming it has nothing to do with him being this way, the way that he gets back at his wife is by then transitioning. And then,
or maybe it's just an extreme reaction.
It could be
that's relevant to the 20 years ago. He would have bought a sports car and had a early midlife crisis, and this is just
what has made people have such strong reactions to this is all of the pictures of him and his wife and his baby that are so wholesome and aspirational, especially for young men today. Watching MrBeast, who are single, who probably wish they were in the position of Chris Tyson. Like, look at him, he's rich, he's got this group of friends that they're so close knit, and he has this beautiful wife and a child on the way, and he has it all. And then he just seemingly gave it up.
Yep, $20 one right there.
Big Derp Energy said, Brett is right. That guy said vows, and that should matter. I mean, we know it means next to nothing when a woman says the vows, given who initiates most divorces, but we need standards for men.
Did you guys see the story about the football soccer player whose wife initiated divorce and found out that he had transferred all his money to his mom years earlier, so she didn't get any money from him?
That's probably why they what was the other soccer player that refused to marry his girlfriend?
Cristiano Ronaldo, yeah. Then now I'm seeing all these memes. It's it's a group of 3 men, it's in slow motion. They're all walking inside a building. It says, "Me and the homies going to transfer our money to our mothers before our wives get divorced us." Okay, so back to what you're saying.
So I just want to get into some of the responses that MrBeast has posted so far.
Yes.
So recently, a YouTuber named SunnyV2 posted a video. Essentially making a lot of the points that we have.
Yeah, I watched.
Saying why Chris will soon be a nightmare for MrBeast. And I think when he says MrBeast in this video, it's referring to the company MrBeast, not Jimmy, the individual person. And people had a huge problem with this title, and MrBeast responded himself and said, yeah, this is getting absurd. Chris isn't my quote nightmare, he's my effing friend, and things are fine. All this transphobia is starting to piss me off.
I don't like the transphobia part. Having reasonable arguments to push back on is not transphobic.
The funny thing is he says all this transphobia is getting annoying when he literally just misgendered him a second prior in the same tweet.
No, because I think Chris Tyson has said any pronouns are fine.
Interesting.
Yes,
so
he has.
Technically not misgendering.
Okay. All right, I'll give him that one.
Someone else replied to Chris recently on Twitter and said, in a few years, look back at this thread and remember they were never your friends, only yes men cowards. Hope you come out of this safe. MrBeast replied to that person, completely jumped into the conversation when he was not involved or mentioned. And he said, opinion irrelevant, ratio. This guy has 30 followers, so of course MrBeast is going to ratio him no matter what he says. But he replied, I have 30 followers, go ahead and ratio me. I'll still rest easy knowing that I'm not a coward who idly stands by watching a friend ruin his own life.
Wow.
As somebody who is very this is a very hard one for me because I'm also... You're
pro MrBeast.
I'm pro free will, and I can't...
I am so pro trans, and it's just really hard for me to parse this out. Sorry, go ahead.
As an adult, I can't tell that I can give him and we don't know what he said behind the scenes, right? I don't know what MrBeast has said to this dude. He could have made some questions look, are you sure this is what you want to do? But that's not going to be what he's going to say publicly. What he shares publicly will always be different from the conversations they have privately.
Right.
And as somebody who is pro free will and pro individual, I can't know what he said. And once decision has been made, does it do him, his friendship, or his business any benefit to trash him publicly?
Okay, Brett, I get that you're saying you're pro-individual and pro-individual choice. But Chris Tyson is someone who has entered into multiple group relationships or contracts that mean something, and you're not an individual anymore when you do that. When you're part of a company that is also a friend group, where you're a moving part of a money-making enterprise. And then secondly, when you're part of a marriage, which makes you essentially, or at least it's supposed to make you one person with the person that you've said your vows to.
She, I think, has more.
That means that you're not an individual anymore, so your individual choices are to be evaluated by the people who are affected by them.
But I'm saying about what he says publicly. It doesn't do him any benefit to say anything negative publicly now.
No, not from a business perspective.
Not at all. And I would say
Definitely.
she has more of a leg to stand on to do it publicly because it doesn't benefit her at all. It doesn't hurt her at all.
And
I
if
don't
she
think.
did, it would actually be representing the same concerns of a lot of women who are going through the same thing now.
And for him, for MrBeast, what he may have to do, it's another reason why you don't get into business with friends, because now his pull to defend his friend and his friend's choices would be different from his pull to defend an employee who he has no personal connection with. If this was somebody he didn't know most of his life, right? So that's different. And for this type of, like, maybe in the future he has just to initiate contracts. Like, look, these types of big decisions like need to be talked about openly. Like maybe nothing changes. Maybe it works out the exact same way, but we need to know that this is happening. And it's the type of thing that you put into a contract with an employee, not necessarily somebody you've known for a lot of years, where there's just that much more emotional baggage to it. Yeah. His desire to protect his friend, who he's, his loyalty is probably to his friend too, not to his friend's wife. As horrible as that is, I'm not saying that's right, but it is.
Yeah.
Like I've had, I just don't like the idea of like your friends just dumping you because they don't like a decision you've made. You can criticize it, but that's still a criticism you'd make in private, not in public.
Yeah. I think that Chris is trying to spin a narrative where he's like getting inundated with hate that's totally out of nowhere, when in reality, like, you're starting to make politically charged statements and people are going to respond. You're making known things that were previously private about you, and now it's on the table for discussion. Chris posted a picture of himself captioned, "It's never too late to start being yourself." Gag. YouTube replied, "You're glowing," heart emoji. YouTube, the official YouTube account.
Yeah.
"Love when Google supports my gender transition." I'm so oppressed, by the way.
Resist!
MrBeast replied to YouTube and said, "Common YouTube W."
Yeah.
Of course, you would say that, MrBeast, when you're not the victim of YouTube censorship.
It's all so very messy. All of this is so very messy, and it is kind of fascinating. One thing I think is really interesting is the social media age, the age of the gig economy and people becoming influencers. Is a lot more people are learning to make money on their own and not working for companies. So the lines are blurred about, where contracts start, who you get into business with. Think about how many more people now are just getting into business getting into streaming businesses, or they have accounts where they share with their friends, or they have like MrBeast, who employs a bunch of people who he's known for a long time, right? These are all now, there's a lot of money there. There's a lot of temptation, a lot of potential greed and things that are happening in a world where the lines between how we dictate our friendships are all getting extremely blurred, on top of all of the social issues that accompany all of this. I just don't know. Like, I wouldn't want to be in their position. I wouldn't.
No.
There are a couple of other developments here to cover. People had a lot of negative reactions to Chris changing his profile picture on Twitter from a picture of him with his 2-year-old son Tucker to an animated sketch version of him, which looks far more feminine than he does in real life.
Why is it always the case? Is
and
it
we've
because
seen
of that?
it before.
Is it because of that, to like make the
It
animated
does
look
seem
more
like that, but people reacted to this and say they're saying Chris is renouncing his identity as a father and a husband and is chasing after a selfish fantasy. And
we live in a narcissistic
him changing
age.
his profile picture from a picture of him with his son to a picture of him in this idealized version of himself is only representative of that.
Yeah.
And then Chris responded to that allegation and said, "I just don't want any more photos of Tucker out there than has to be." Thumbs up emoji. Tone indicator, genuine.
That's actually a fair, I mean, like, now I'm seeing a
However,
lot of the pictures of him, the kid, they're blurring his face.
But he posted a picture of his son, Tucker, on the floor, crawling around with heels strapped onto his feet.
No
with
way.
a caption, "Tucker decided to slay today. So don't talk to me about not wanting more pictures than necessary of your kid on the internet after you just posted that for everyone to see.
And a lot of the complaints that a lot of people have here is the issue of the fact that MrBeast's audience is a majority minor.
Yeah.
It's like that's a
Overwhelming.
lot of people have a very big concern about the fact that it's going to be, reaching a lot of kids.
And what are the ripple effects of slowly normalizing this to children as they grow up that they would have never seen this 10 years ago, 5 years ago, maybe.
Yeah.
And Chris also tweeted, I won't let people talk about how I, quote, abandoned my child. He is the only priority in my life.
Right.
I have his love and support, and that is all I need. I'm doing this for him. If that confuses you, educate yourself. If that makes you mad, leave. Simple.
We just got the
cool.
educate yourself.
I like how
He's being antagonistic, though.
Yeah, and he also is the one that put the child and go, hey dad, I want to put on these like what was
high
it?
heels,
the high heels and stuff. Like, oh yeah, like the kid totally went out of their way to go and put those on. Right. Sure.
And they were kids'
sure,
shoes, so he clearly bought them
right.
for the
Already.
sole purpose of putting them on his son.
Exactly.
And I think that this is where they always forget they don't realize that for like a lot of people, somebody like me who doesn't care if you're trans, doesn't care if you're anything, but as soon as you start pushing this stuff on kids, that's where you lose so many people.
Right.
And it's a problem.
And this antagonistic attitude that he's putting out there on Twitter right now, MrBeast has his full discretion to respond how he might to his employee acting like this.
Yeah.
He's talking like this to members of his audience and telling them, if you are confused or angry about this change in my personal life, leave. He is alienating people from their audience. So that seems like grounds to fire someone for me, but
yeah,
MrBeast seems to be totally backing down.
And we know that it would never happen anyway.
No way.
It's not happening.
And we have a piece of fake news from this situation as well.
But also remember MrBeast, that Elon Musk does follow MrBeast. So he subscribes to MrBeast. So
Elon Musk who said that pronouns are stupid, by the way.
Pays for MrBeast tweets.
Yeah.
Wow. Nice.
So Twitter Blue is $8 a month. The subscription is $5 a month. So MrBeast is still $3 short a month.
I'm not gonna lie. Recently, like I'm never going to get I'm never gonna verify. Have you seen the Ryan Long video about getting verified on Instagram now? But people
it's like $12 or $15 or something. Why would you pay Facebook?
He has a video with Trevor Wallace that's really funny about these guys who pay to get they pay to be verified. They're like, oh hey, and they're like showing everyone their verified check mark. And I said I would never pay for that, but there are days where I would love to have the edit feature.
Yeah, it's mainly the only reason I got it is because I was new to Twitter a while ago, and I just was like, well, I don't know if I make a mistake, and it's $8. I don't know. I didn't think it was that much of an important thing.
I have too
now
much,
I don't care. Yeah. Now I don't care, and I'm going to get rid of it because I don't want to keep paying for something I don't use.
I have too much pride to get a verified check, to pay for a verified check.
I wish I could just pay for it to get the edit feature and decide whether or not I want it to have the stupid check mark on there.
Yeah, to get
I don't
rid
want
of
a
the
check mark.
verified
I don't
part.
care if I have a check mark. I just want to be able to edit.
You want the benefits.
I just want to edit my friggin' post. Like, why can't I do that in the first place? It's just...
What was the fake news?
Yeah, we just had this fake story that an anonymous Twitter user named Yoxic
This is like a week ago.
Yeah, got a defamation summons in the mail from Chris Tyson after he posted a tweet of a before and after photo of Chris saying old Chris would make fun of new Chris. There's a fake message that came from Chris Tyson to Yoxic saying, hey, I saw this tweet from you today and wanted to say my lawyers will be in contact with you shortly with a court notice for defemination. Don't know why you or anyone would tweet something such hatred towards anyone on the internet. It's blatantly disgusting. See you soon, smiley face. Don't be scared now.
I want to ask the question: like, would the United States District Court ever put someone's handle in the summons?
Yeah. He made a whole doctored summons page.
Yeah.
And posted it to Twitter. Some people.
I mean, I'm assuming it's fake,
but this is probably just a social experiment. And then he got a real reply in the DMs from Chris saying, I forgot to DM you, but that tweet was funny AF. Hope it didn't get you any extra heat. I thought people would get I was leaning into the joke, but now I got family members asking if some random article about me suing you and that other guy are real. LMAO. Classic Twitter users not understanding the concept of jokes. All love to you.
Yeah.
Is that
And he
what's
said,
going
I
on?
wasn't joking.
Oh.
I do not F with you. And then Chris said, Def F with me enough to leech off the clout of me coming out. LMAO. All good though. Don't F with you either. Glad I could give you your 15 seconds then. LMAO.
That's an interesting phrase that he understands that there's clout that comes with it.
Yeah, that comes with
guess.
coming out.
Yeah.
And that's relevant right now.
Yeah. It's interesting.
It's I don't even know. Is it really coming out? Like, there you?
Yeah, it's like, I'm coming out, but I'm not going to specify what identity it is that I'm coming out as, and you can kind of refer to me however you want to.
Libby Emmons basically did a thing and talked about it on IRL though. It's like it's becoming like the new Sweet 16 birthday party.
Right.
Like,
it's like a coming of age thing.
There are no like milestones anymore. Like you're not. Everything's problematic. This is the only
Gen
non-problematic
Z
thing.
is getting their driver's license at 18.
Noah Sanders right there, Mary.
He said, why the hell are there even such things as heels for children? Do little kids need to accentuate their legs or make their butt look better? The whole toddler little kid clothing scene has been growing more and more terrifying.
It's I had never.
I mean, it looked more like costume things that like a 5-year-old girl would wear if she were dressing up as like, I don't know, Alice in Wonderland.
Toddlers and tiaras did this. Toddler,
they're to
like
blame.
it's.
That's a whole other situation.
Yeah, it is.
It's tangential now.
Yeah.
It's related now because even Tim was saying last night. Like, I hate to bring it up on the show, guys, but we were talking.
I don't know who that is.
We were talking about like it's like they bring up like, oh well, what about child pageants? It's like, yeah, well I don't like those either. I've never thought that's cool. I never liked those. I never enjoyed it or thought it was a good idea to be doing that.
Yeah.
So it's unfortunately this intersection is occurring. I don't think it's good.
Yeah.
I think it's bad. It's just like whataboutism. Well, what about this? What about that? What about this? It's like, well, we're talking about this. We're not talking about that. We're talking about this.
I mean, it's one of the reasons I've given up on caring about politics. Is like it's all whataboutism.
It is.
From
It really
all
is.
like because everybody has a legitimate claim. Most of the time, everyone has some at least somewhat legitimate claim to the other side. Like everything's a whataboutism. I don't want to talk about whataboutism. I want to address this situation.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, let's go to super chats, shall we, Mary?
Goofer Trooper said, let's go. And he
let's
said,
go.
Suggestion, remind everyone to like after Super Chat.
Yes.
Well, yes.
Also, guys,
We will.
like this video, subscribe to this channel if you have not done so already. I didn't do that spiel. I forget that some days. I try to remember that, but I don't do that very well. I forget some days. Like this video if you have not already. Subscribe to this channel if you have not done that, and turn the notification bell on so that you can be notified anytime we go live with a new episode or a new segment goes up. Thank you.
Yes. And any Super Chats 20 or over.
Yes, we will,
We read
in fact. And we've actually done pretty good today about getting back on topic. Like not losing our train of
We're
thought.
smart cookies today.
Smart.
Goofer Trooper said, could it be possible that Majors has a certain political leaning that Hollywood is trying to flush out of their ranks?
I think that's
perhaps
exactly what it
trying to
is.
cut him down before he becomes a true A-lister.
Dude, I don't know about that. Like,
Is he secretly based?
there was an amazing video where this, okay, I wish I'd pulled this up. Now it just completely slipped my mind where this girl, like they did like an interview or something with Jonathan Majors and Michael B. Jordan. I don't remember if it was Tacty Platty. Somebody sent it to me on on Instagram last night. In the chat, you'll be able to remind me of who it was. I'm sorry, I forgot. And it's like Jonathan Majors and and Michael B. Jordan are talking to this woman. She gives them some compliment. And they're like, oh, thank you. And she walks away and her butt's huge. And Jonathan Majors goes, just like follows the whole way. Like Michael B. Jordan keeps it completely straight. He keeps his eyes forward the whole time. And Jonathan Majors just can't help.
X said it'd be MrBeast, but pronounced Breast.
Ah, Mr.
Wow.
It would be Mr. Breast.
Yeah.
Let's face it.
Mr. Breast. Yes.
Tarzan Jungle Kung Fu said, Oregonian here. Blockbuster is still open. Renting the living room was only available for a few Bend residents. They left it up for a bit for tourists.
Yeah, I heard that was only like I didn't even know it was that much. I heard it was only like a one-time thing. Like they did it for one weekend and then never did it again. But that's cool. It's awesome. And also cool to know that we have somebody watching from Oregon.
Yeah, that's cool.
Is
That's
it
amazing.
Oregon?
Oregon. It said
Oregon.
both ways. I've heard
But I never said Oregon Trail. I said Oregon Trail. So
Interesting.
Okay.
Maybe that's the Minnesota in me. That's the accent I
both.
don't
Well,
have.
I've heard in Oregon, which I say Oregon. I've heard people say both things. So I don't
Get
know.
your bag, queen. Sketch Therapy said Gina's contract up for renewal. Is Jonathan's contract?
I doubt that because he's been fairly new to Marvel, so he's probably on a certain amount of films. But Marvel's probably keeping him around. I think his contract is not up for renewal, and that's why they're not worrying about it right now. They might have to pay out to him too high if they got rid of him.
Okay. X said, I don't police pronouns, but yes, that's correct.
About
she, her, they, them.
Look, I can now, I can slide into her DMs and know what I'm talking about if I was to do that.
Technically, it's impossible to misgender Chris Tyson because any pronouns means you can say it.
Well, I was talking about the voiceover actress, not Chris Tyson, but because she had she, they, and I did not know that she, her.
That's
you can't just do all four: she, her, they, them.
That's really dumb because everyone is still going to say she, her.
Yep, definitely.
Shane H. Wilder said Hollywood only cares when it fits their prerogative. Remember Roman Polanski and Victor Salva? Oh, wait, they didn't care about those two because they were doing things to kids.
Yep, that all kind of fell by the wayside and got memory hold by Hollywood. Hollywood is one of the better perpetrators of the number one tactic that the media has. If they want to really, really bury something, it's not counter propaganda. They just don't talk about it. If something's really, really important, they just don't report on it. And then nobody knows it's happening. That's one of the things I find the most frustrating. Is like all these stories come out and I'm like, it doesn't matter. Because it's like, if it's not showing up on somebody's TV, either on their local news or on whatever CNN, NBC, Fox that they talk about, and Fox has their own problems. Like, I don't like them either. Like, look, they just don't talk about whatever it is they want to bury. And that's how they win.
Noah Sanders said, cute of the day, how do I go about contributing pictures of my brother's Basset Hound pup? Good question. You can go on Twitter to hashtag PCC Pets.
Yes, and tag me or Mary in that, and I will find it. But the PCC Pets we follow down.
Yes, and if you have memes, it's PCC Meme Review on Twitter.
Yes.
It's over 9,000 said the most offensive parts from Dude Where's My Car are my most favorite parts.
Everyone loves the offensive parts of movies back in the day. That was why they were amazing.
Right.
Let's hold off on the rest and we will come back.
All right.
All right, guys, we're moving on. So Drake can't catch a break these days. That was not meant to rhyme. I apologize. I'm a poet and I didn't even know it. The other day, an AI song came out with Drake and The Weeknd. Fake Drake, fake The Weeknd, talking about Selena Gomez, and that got taken down. And I read a really interesting article from a music insider who said it would have been the greatest, because it sounded just like him. He said it would have been the greatest marketing technique if it had just been real. And they claimed it was fake, went through all of the steps, took it down, and then found out that it was real, but it wasn't. But now 2 more fake Drake songs have come out, and we have to have the discussion about what this means for music, because your voice is your moneymaker in that industry in a lot of ways. There's a really great Instagram account that I follow where this guy does AI covers of songs with presidents. So he does like See You Again by Wiz Khalifa with Donald Trump, Joe Biden, and Barack Obama. Wow. And he's gone on record as saying, he's like, I will not copy music. I will not copy the voices of musicians because they make a living with their voice. I'd argue that Barack Obama and Donald Trump's voices are just as iconic as a lot of musicians.
If not more politically potent, that could cause like a nuclear war or something.
Yeah. So he makes his songs like that. So yeah, the AI generated song using his likeness. Do you think we can play the clip? Oh, by the way, this was the first one. I'm going to show this picture on screen. So this is from the first one, the one that got taken down. When they did the voice, the guy had wore a bed sheet with sunglasses, and they said if they really wanted to make this as great marketing, they would have just had Drake wear the bed sheet with the glasses and then say it's fake.
Right.
How do we know that the song with the fake The Weeknd is about Selena Gomez?
It mentions it in the song.
Okay, let's play it then.
We can't. They took that one down. That one's gone.
Oh,
we can play the new ones.
Okay.
That just came out.
So we got Winter's Cold.
Yeah, we'll play this one.
And Not a Game.
Let's hope we don't get. I mean, I don't know how we get copyright.
Nobody owns it.
Yeah, nobody owns it.
they try to send us me, okay, the winter's cold. Where I'm from, we had them tenant key, I swear that pussy told.
Could've fooled me.
I got it on my own. I ain't had no one to fend for me.
Thoughts? Does it sound? It sounds just like him to me.
It's also because of the effects that they use on his voice in his normal songs.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it does sound like him. I was listening to see if it's all pretty tight. Like as in like he's speaking enough to where it's like it's not just like a sample or whatever that they're using over and over again. I don't know what to, I've heard like the other one. I think which one is this one again? This is the more recent one?
This one's called Winter's Cold.
Right, okay. I haven't heard this one yet.
But someone did write the lyrics, so it is theirs in that sense.
Yeah.
But it's just like if you didn't perform it.
I mean, technically, you could release that song and just say it's not Drake, right? Like, he can't copyright the voice, so he could just say like, "This is my song."
But he did label it AI Drake. Parentheses original.
Yeah, the guy could just say like, "This is an AI song that I made," and put it under his own label.
He says original, but it's the definition of not original because you used a software that aggregates millions of hours of Drake's speaking and rapping voice
and we're
to
just
create this.
We are coming to such a weird point in technology when I think of like FN Mecca, who was like an AI influencer or an AI rapper that was owned by a company and wasn't an actual person. Yeah. And it just feels like where do we go from here? Like, I would like your thoughts on this.
Have we proven that this is like, are we for sure that it isn't like
him
saying it's AI and then literally recording it and then doing it? Because I can hear in my head like how you do it.
Yeah, like
you could definitely do it where you have him just saying regular things, and you can even do the intonation in his voice where he's going in the cold with that you can do that in
that
in
inflection point.
You can do that easily. That's something that makes me think that it's fake. I don't know. It's such a
But UMG issued takedown requests of the "Heart on My Sleeve" song, so it does seem like this isn't.
Heart on My Sleeve.
That was the one about
Selena Gomez.
That was the one about Selena.
Was it the one that was first?
That was the first one.
Right.
Yeah.
So maybe that one was fake.
See, I thought that'd be cool.
Ones or not.
Like, what if that one was real and that they end up re-uploading it on his official YouTube page?
Right, or rather, that one was real. Someone else did it, and whatever. Or no, that one was made. Someone else made one, and now they're just doing these other two ones to catch on those clicks
with his actual songs.
You see what I'm saying? Right.
Yeah.
And I don't know if that's the case
Brett,
or not.
I'm sending you "Heart on My Sleeve." It's getting reposted everywhere.
All right, I got it here.
It's on Twitter right now. If you guys look it up.
Here we
it's
go.
So funny.
Here we go.
Sound of it.
Young Metro tag. What?
It sounds real.
It's not. They got some compressor issues going on.
I mean, there's some real mechanical sounds there that just sound like audio processing.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm listening to it and I hear like there's definitely like some compression issues going on with that, but like I don't know if that's to like. Yeah, I don't know.
What do you think? What's the solution for this? Do you think that where is AI going to go in music?
I've been saying from a recording and engineering perspective, AI is great if it can help me balance all my tracks. If it can balance a 126 track for me and I don't have to deal about like going through all my audio and grunt work. And then I can make my decisions as to what I want the track to sound like once it comes out. That would help a lot because a lot of people don't realize, but like when you hear a band, like let's say All That Remains, for instance, we'll use Phil as an example.
There we go.
Yeah, why not? That's gonna be like 140 track mix down probably, depending on how they do it.
Okay.
But there are so many layers, even in just one vocal track, there's probably going to be like 5 or 6 layers within that.
Okay.
Just to make one line, right? Oftentimes. And it could be different. I don't know exactly how they are, or how they're producing it, but it's, if I can balance all those vocals and get them to sit properly with like the whisper track, with like the audibles and all that stuff, kind of making sense like this, and I can use AI to do that, I would do that every day, because that means I can output more work. I can then take on more clients. I can be more prolific as a producer, as a remixer, as an engineer.
People have had making similar arguments about art, that it can help with aspects of art, like backgrounds and stuff like that. Like there's ways to implement AI into these projects, and that a lot of people are of the opinion, or at least less people are of the opinion, but I do see it, that they're like, look, we tend to be, when this stuff comes out, we're inherently afraid. Right. Everyone's afraid that they're going to lose their job. And that's like, somebody, if they could just sit somebody in here and just put like a fake me up here, they could probably do that. They could have AI Brett do this podcast and it wouldn't be that hard.
Would people want to watch that?
I have no idea.
People are either responding to this in the quotes saying, I've been bumping this for the last 2 days, or this is terrifying for the future of technology and art. And there's no in between.
That tends to be how it is, right? Like nobody has like any type of like, well, how can we prudently implement this? How can we use this in a way that benefits humanity? Everyone immediately goes to fear. And I get it. Like, I get it. I get where the fear comes from.
Right. But people also said this about like the sewing machine.
Yeah.
You know, and they were like, oh, well, if you take sewing machines, like it's like you still have to operate the sewing machine.
Yeah.
But, you know, people, like I saw in the chat, someone mentioned that isotope ozone does have a mastering assistant. You're right. But that still doesn't do the whole job. Like, it's still not doing everything. And that's like, it's not, I'd love to see how much work was put in on the back end to be like, well, the AI did this. It's like, okay, well, how much did you do to correct for it? How much did you do to like make it actually work? Because you can't see that. And I doubt that they're going to be like ready and willing to share their project with all the work that they've done. It's an interesting thing. Then it comes to royalties too. Like I said before the show, like what are you gonna do? Do like a royalties thing for the AI? Is
okay,
it
so
like
here
the person that programmed the AI? Is it the person that owns the AI program? Like,
in Hollywood, they have just ruled that you are allowed to use ChatGPT to help with script writing, and you don't have to pay royalties.
Interesting.
So you are going to be able to use that technology in your script writing process, which, you know, is probably going to be better than the actual Hollywood writers. Anyways, they're about to go on strike.
Yeah.
They're going to strike in May.
But is like writing like a script for a movie or a show is I guess it. I mean, oh man, that's a lot more content than writing a track, because a track is going to be like what, like verse, pre-chorus, hook, whatever. It's not. It's and a chorus itself. It's not like that much stuff. But making it sound good, like I remember there was a thing for like Euro pop. They had like an AI write a song a couple years ago, and it was just like gobbledygook, like it wasn't actual words or anything. And now we have actual words in these songs. But I want to see if like I would love to see how much they used from the AI, because you could say, oh, it's an AI song. Okay, yeah, maybe, but how much did you use of it? How much did you? That's what it comes down to, is how much of it did you use? How much work did you have to do on top of the AI to make it viable and make it as catchy and great? Like, I don't know.
The guy who wrote the first one, The Heart of My Sleeves, is Ghostwriter977 on TikTok. That's the guy who did that.
I also read that there was a fake track of Kanye West doing an apology rap for his offensive statements.
I also, last night, I played them Kanye West does Call Me Maybe.
Oh yeah.
It didn't sound great.
No, there's a lot of artifacts in that.
But it was hearing him sing "Call Me Maybe" was hilarious.
Yeah, it was pretty funny.
The more like formulaic and oversimplified and baby mode, human-made art becomes, which it has been for years, then like the more opportunities that AI has to quote unquote replace us,
and commercial companies which don't care about the art. Everyone knows that in the endless valiant battle of art versus commerce, the people in charge of the money aren't there because you make great art. They're there because your great art makes the money.
Right.
And if they can find a way to make that money without dealing with people that talk back to them or have standards or have any type of desire to have input on it, they're not going to want to deal with that.
AI doesn't talk back.
AI doesn't talk back. AI
doesn't have PR crises.
AI does, no, that's the other thing. AI doesn't smack someone in the back of a taxi cab.
Doesn't give you allegations of assault. It doesn't.
It doesn't
do a lot of things.
It doesn't even gender transition because
doesn't transition.
It doesn't cause you any type of nightmare. So it's like no one's saying that that's right, that the companies aren't ghoulish for wanting to do that, but you have to understand that the corporate world isn't about art, it's about practicality. It just uses art as a vehicle to make money.
I said this before, but I think that part of the reason that people are becoming so fearful and confused about AI is because we've all been uprooted from an actual foundational view of what humanity is or means.
Did AI do that?
Whoa.
I think it's your
That's
speaker,
kinda-
my guy.
Did the speaker break?
It's kind of off-putting. Thanks for the crisis party.
Thank you, guys.
I guess.
I don't know. Was it? Was it the?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I think maybe this guy's.
Hold on. Did it?
I wonder if that's gonna happen next time.
I'm gonna do it again just for the hell of it.
Cue it up.
See if it happens.
Yeah. Free crisis party to see if anything happens. 1,
Are we getting censored right
2,
now?
3, 4, 5.
Why did it work that time?
There we go. Free crisis party today.
Anyway.
You got a super chat there, by the way.
Oh, we did?
Yeah, it's $20, right?
Rolf Eklund said Death Clock is real.
Agreed.
I know this now. Thank you.
Yeah. Death Clock is real. Nothing. Everything in the show is all actual fact.
show
it all
is real.
occurred. Yeah, the show is real. Shout out Pickles. The show is real for sure.
I mean, if you're talking about Death Clock as the people in the band, then it's definitely not real. It's just one guy.
Yeah.
But anyway.
But that said,
that's what I never got about like the gorillas. It's like, okay, their shtick is that they're not real. Like,
yeah.
cool.
But it really is like
That's all you got.
Homo sapien and all these other famous musicians that it's like it's just a project. It's our project, and it was just like I think at that time it was like
unique.
It was unique. It was definitely like a thing.
Doesn't
now,
feel unique anymore.
No, it doesn't at all. Because you can just be like,
listen to
oh, well, that's
Deltron.
clearly is Deltron, Del Funky Homo Sapien. Yeah.
I'm gonna listen to Deltron after the show today, just because it's been a while.
Shout out
Mastermind.
Deltron. Yeah.
Mastermind.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. All right, let's go to super chats there, Mary.
X said, I'm probably that person who still has humor. I don't believe in the objective reality of gender and find gendered pronouns societally detrimental.
So, can you read that? I'm sorry, I'm trying to catch back up here.
X. Okay. This is from X.
Okay.
I'm probably that person who still has humor. I don't believe in the objective reality of gender and find gendered pronouns societally detrimental.
Oh, okay, yeah, like, and then he has one more, or they or them. I have no idea if they're or she.
Person said sex, however, exists.
Yes.
Yeah, that's.
But the point is that
that's a dumb take. I'm sorry.
Wait, why?
Not thinking that there is an objective reality of gender. It's a stupid take.
Okay. I mean, like, I thought that what they're saying here is that they believe that, so they're just saying that they believe that gender is fluid, but sex is an objective fact.
Not fluid, but just that gender doesn't exist and that gender pronouns shouldn't exist either.
I did not spend $250,000 at a college to know, so I don't know. I have no idea. Let's go to the next one there.
Chris Tyson, this is from James Orthel when Chris Tyson is transing his son, pics on Twitter. Well, there was just the one picture. If there's more, I'm not aware of that.
There's more up there. I think we missed one.
Am I missing some?
Did I miss?
No.
From Red Pen?
That's the one that I'm on now. After
X?
Yeah.
Okay. Who did you say it was from?
The last one I read was from James Orenthal Wen.
Okay, I don't see the James Orenthal one here.
Okay.
Okay.
Red X Pen said real quick, when I got news tips, whose Instagram can I send them to? F Twitter, garbage platform.
Look, I've come to really enjoy using Twitter. I'm not gonna lie.
See?
But you can, if you want to send tips to me on Instagram at Brett Dasovic or to Pop Culture Crisis.
I do not look at my Instagram DMs, so sorry.
Yeah.
You'll have to try Brett.
Yeah, you can send me they're the damn stink bugs again. You can send it to me on Instagram at Brett Dasovic.
It's over 9,000 said, Brett, what hat are you wearing? It looks like a muscular Pac-Man.
It is the Fort Myers Mighty Muscles. It is a I have collected I have like the Lord of the Rings, the one ring to rule them all, or Pokemon where you got to collect them all, you got to catch them all. I have collected all of the Minnesota hats and Seattle hats that I need, so I've now started collecting Minnesota minor league teams. So the teams the teams that end up training the players that go to the majors and
farm teams.
So the Fort Myers Mighty Muscles The Chattanooga Lookouts were at one point, and then also the Rochester Red Wings.
Wow.
And the St. Paul Saints.
Shouts out.
Yeah.
Guitarist Gabe said, I was under the impression that the problem was the same as the Mulvaney issue and that their core audience is minors.
Yeah. I do think that that's the problem for Chris. That's what I think a lot of people have the problem with the Chris Tyson stuff.
Yeah.
Well, with Dylan Mulvaney, I can't imagine that's what minors think is cool. It's what
his audience is
millennials
15.
and,
No, his audience is 15-year-old TikTokers.
Mm-hmm.
How do you know that?
That's that's
just demographics.
That's what the
Is that something that was posted somewhere?
Yeah. So.
Did you see that on Twitter or something?
I mean, Tim was talking about it, so I assume that he'd done the research on that. That they were talking to. If your audience is mostly TikTok, then that's.
They're all ages on TikTok.
Also,
All
I
ages.
just here's something crazy. I got a notification yesterday that said someone you follow has just subscribed to Ed Krasenstein.
What?
Why would I get that? No, I don't subscribe or.
I got that for Elon Musk. Someone you follow just subscribed to Elon Musk. I was like, why?
But here's do you follow Elon Musk?
No.
And I don't follow Ed Krasenstein, so why would I get that notification?
Maybe I do. I don't remember if I follow.
Trying to push you in a particular direction.
Yeah, well, a lot of people think that they're being kind of artificially boosted, and that makes me think so because I don't follow Ed Krasenstein.
I think it's just that on Twitter they want to boost awareness that you can subscribe to somebody's Twitter.
Well, that shit is weird.
Maybe.
Maybe.
Let's do one more and then we'll move on.
Jacob Edler said it's a lose-lose for MrBeast. Ignore it and get death threats, denounce it and lose everything, or, quote, support it and be forced to toe the line forever.
It is. It's exactly what it is. Fall in line, my friend.
Yeah.
All right, we are moving on, guys. So, do you want to tell us? Let's do Kylie Jenner. We're going to talk about this for a little bit.
Yeah, Kylie Jenner recently came out and said the biggest misconception about her is that she's gotten a lot of surgery on her face.
Think that's a misconception?
And just
that's the biggest misconception.
That's kind of all you need to drop. It's that, and then it's just mic drop. But
my she's kind of the poster child for those memes that say you're not ugly, you're just poor.
I mean, before I'm not going to say she was ugly.
No, she wasn't.
She wasn't.
I'm just saying, but that people use their
looked much more ordinary.
They use her picture a lot for that, and they use Cristiano Ronaldo for that.
Ronaldo.
Like you're
well,
not
that's
ugly.
also like puberty and stuff for Cristiano Ronaldo.
Yeah.
But
and no, I'm not saying that she was ever ugly.
Yeah, I think she was more of like just an ordinary girl next door looking person before she started getting all of these cosmetic procedures done. But here's what she said in a recent interview. She said, a big misconception about me is I've had so much surgery on my face and that I was some insecure person, and I really wasn't. She completely denies now that she ever got anything done out of an insecurity about her looks.
Wasn't she the youngest isn't she like the youngest billionaire ever or something like that?
I think so.
Like you're telling me the billionaire didn't get a bunch of work. I don't care if she got work done. Just own it.
Before she was a billionaire.
It's just she's just saying she's just critiquing the misconception as to why she did it.
Okay,
that's it. And
well,
that's
she for a long time did deny getting lip fillers.
Right,
so.
right. And now she's like, okay, well, JK, I did get it, but you guys are wrong about why I did it. It's like, okay, like cool, like I just.
Yeah, and then she kind of admits it at the same time. She said, I love full lips and wanted full lips, but growing up, I was always the most confident person in the room. I was the girl performing for everyone. I had my one lip insecurity thing, so I got lip filler, and it was the best thing I've ever done. Imagine that. The best thing I've ever done is get lip filler, not have children, not start a business,
not become a billionaire.
Yeah, not become a billionaire.
I mean, I think we're kind of.
I don't regret it.
Yeah, we are, but I mean, it's just like I don't understand why this is even like a thing. I just don't. You just need another news story out. You kind of fell out of the news story, so you need to just come up with something to just like get you in there, like.
Yeah, she said she does not regret it, and she always thought that she was cute, so she was never insecure, she claims.
Oh, okay.
But
sure.
I don't see why you would deny getting lip filler in the first place if it wasn't out of insecurity. You know?
You're just trying to fit in. Or what is it? I don't understand. Like what's the other motivation for it?
She previously said she regretted not telling the truth about her injections right away, and she says the reason she didn't was she was frightened of being viewed as a bad influence on her fans. Great excuse. She said, I wasn't 17 yet. What if I mean, I don't know why a 16-year-old should be allowed to get injections in their face, because that's a prime time in your life where you don't even know what you look like yet. She said, what if I came out and said, oh yeah, I got my lips done? What are all those moms going to think about me? These kids, my fans, they're going to think I'm crazy. I didn't want to be a bad influence. I didn't want people to think you had to get your lips done to feel good about yourself. Well, you just admitted in 2023 that that's exactly what you did.
Yeah.
But they thought it was crazier that I was lying about it because it was so obvious. I wish I had just been honest and upfront. Yeah. If you can think, you know, I'm going to lie about this and no one will notice. That just shows, once again, that you are dysmorphic about your face and don't know what you look like.
I also want to point out, I'm going to interject here slightly. Lynch Mob of Bert says that he thinks that the PCC Live Discord is pointless and should be deleted. No offense, because I know Brett appreciates viewers, but the YouTube chat is the only place to comment. I am here to tell you that it is not pointless, my friend. I am checking. Okay, we're back.
What is the PCC Live Discord?
They're talking about it. They're on in the Discord right now as well. I'm checking both as we go.
Okay.
Okay, back on topic.
I think someone who doesn't see themselves for how they really look is the one who should be rejected for a cosmetic procedure.
Yeah.
But in reality, those are the ones that are most lucrative. They're lifetime patients.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's also weird that we're allowing children who have not been, maybe have enough experience to look out for scams. And that are things that are going to damage you for life. You know what I mean? Like, because we're making the assumption that all of those surgeries are going to go exceptionally well, when in reality, like, you could just go and find, you know, some back alley person who's going to put lip filler in your lips, and that's just not
like silicone that never is going to leave
Yeah,
your face. So
right.
you have to get surgically removed from your face.
But also,
Exactly.
like, there's not a whole lot of, like, it's kind of like cell phones, which I bring up a lot of time. Like, has there really been a lot of research done as to whether these things are going to nuke our brains or not? Like, we don't know.
yeah, true.
You know what? Actually, injections have probably existed longer than smartphones. But
that's what I'm saying. But
there
like,
are so many lies about the effects that plastic surgery has on your body long term. And I think Kylie Jenner is one of the people who fell for those lies. And I think it's incredibly disingenuous and unethical that not only did she lie about getting lip injections, but she used the public's obsession with her look and these huge ballooned baboon anus lips to make her business the Kylie lip kits, which made her a billionaire in the first place. Now that she's got the riches,
baboon anus
she's
lip
like,
fillers was a taken name, I'm guessing. So she had to go with Kylie.
yeah, this is your baboon anus lip kit.
Wow, that'd be great.
But she
where
became a billionaire off of selling the image of her altered face. So, but previously lied about having gotten anything done.
It's like trying to sell a push-up bra with implants.
Yeah.
It's it's kind of like that too.
Yeah.
I mean, think about like the Kylie Jenner lip challenge. Remember that crazy shit?
Yeah, that's what I was just thinking of.
I was about to say, no, I don't remember that. I don't. What is it? What was that?
It was kind of crazy. People would like get a glass or like a bottle or something. Yeah, like a shot glass.
Okay.
And like suction their lips into it and just leave it there for like at least 10 minutes until the blood started like flowing to their lips and the capillaries started breaking.
Are these the same people that would like, they got done with that immediately and were like, onto the Tide Pod challenge, like next?
I know that some people who did the Kylie Jenner lip challenge actually weren't able to get their lips to go down after because they left it there for so long.
Yeah.
And you wonder why society is failing. Like, I don't support a TikTok ban because I don't want to. First of all, the Resist Act and all that stuff is garbage. But
Trash.
I hear stories like this, and I'm like, natural selection, kind of.
Yeah.
Me smacking Tide Pods between my Kylie Jenner balloon lips.
Your baboon anus lips, like you're eating a Tide Pod with your balloon
like what
anus
has happened
lips.
to society?
And then we wonder like what is going to happen when these people get into Congress and take over government, and they're like,
I'm just saying, Kylie Jenner, she has built an empire off of her fake face. And no one should believe her when she says she has not gotten surgeries done to her face.
It's also kind of annoying because she's very flip-floppy on it. And like you said,
Yeah.
she like says one thing and then immediately admits.
Just post an itemized list of everything that you've gotten done.
Yes, receipts.
And don't lie about it.
Yeah.
And
receipts.
then I think that we can move on from this conversation. But as long as you're still floundering on it and not wanting to admit the truth.
The Discord is a big fan of huge baboon anus lips.
Okay,
They are.
good to know.
They are. I think everyone is a fan of that comment. I think that what they like, maybe just because like, aren't there rules now? Maybe somebody in the chat can let me know about this. There are rules in place about like false advertising, right? Like what they use for marketing. Like I thought at a point like you have to use real milk now. When you do ads for cereal, or you,
Okay.
like there's rules in place about faking advertising. Have you ever seen those TikToks or those Instagrams where it's like, how do they make the pancakes look the way they do? It's because they put pieces of cardboard between them to make them
Or like hairspray.
Yes, yeah, exactly.
Whatever.
Like
glue.
should something like that be implemented for somebody like her who's selling you a look that was not possible to get with just her product?
I don't know. The lowest common denominator is going to fall for it regardless.
I know.
So
Well,
what's the point?
being the laissez-faire capitalist that I am, I say go ahead and do it.
But it's the same thing I was saying yesterday. The quantity and quality of stimuli for sale out there that are capable of ruining someone of mid to low intelligence's life it is getting way higher.
Yeah.
And it's constant. And the gambling is just one part of that.
Yeah.
Plastic surgery is also a part of that.
I mean, there's also a lot of
Machine.
vanity for the plastic. People are looking at themselves more now than they ever were before.
Yeah.
Like,
But the more you change yourself, the worse you look, usually.
usually, I mean, the best plastic surgery is like the best CGI in that you don't know it's there. Right? Like, I look at these actresses that have aged beautifully. Do I believe for a moment that they haven't had anything done? No. But I believe that they were smart enough to know, like,
when to stop.
Hi, whatever Madonna gets done, I need like 37 levels below that.
Yeah.
Like, I need to do, whatever I do, just don't give me the Madonna.
It's ironic because I think for a while people were noticing from paparazzi photos that the Kardashians, Jenners were going way too far with all the alterations, and they started looking fucked up. Like they had the diaper butts that just look like a full diaper, but it's on the inside of your skin and just looks painful.
So it's
Then
that
they
with the
started
baboon
getting-
anus lips. And
Yeah,
it's
the
just
baboon
it's a
anus
mess.
lips and the fillers, and you start looking like a whole other species. And they started reversing those procedures once they started getting backlash for them, rightfully so, because you look weird, you don't look human. And now they're getting their fillers dissolved. Kylie's allegedly getting her lip fillers dissolved now. And they're all dating white men now. You're
what a
going
shock.
through a whole brand change, and it'll be interesting to watch going forward.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on. Now that we've completely talked down to them the whole time, that was very rude of us. Let's talk about Kai Cenat.
Officially
Kai Cenat is one of the biggest Twitch streamers. We were just talking about this last night. Was banned. Now there is a bunch of controversy as to what the ban was about. Some people saying because he got shoes from Kick and also got shoes from Twitch, and he liked the shoes from Kick more. And I don't think that's what it was. I think it has to do with simulated sexual activity on stream. Seems more likely.
In Grand Theft Auto.
Grand Theft Auto.
Not in real life.
Not in real life.
Because you never know what could be allowed on
Look,
Twitch
I was
these
actually,
days.
we were just talking about this last night about Andrea or Jamie made some post about about Marilyn Monroe if Twitch was around.
What?
It was and I was
Would she have been a Twitch streamer?
yeah, it's like basically I was just like, if you can't handle me at my ASMR video, you don't deserve me at my hot tub stream. Like that's really what it would have been. In the world we live in is just a mess now. But he's banned, and I think it's only a 7-day ban, which makes sense. But I think a lot of it is there's like a weird rotating door at Twitch now, and people get banned very,
They're
very
super
easily.
trigger happy with bans if you're not Pokimane.
And it's and that's like they talk about that. I think Kai had gotten banned before because of a back and forth with Pokimane and stuff like that. I might be misremembering that part. But
if you say one critical thing of their queen bee,
can't criticize Pokimane. Whatever happened to Nico
down,
Lol?
Buddy.
Whatever happened to Nico Lol?
She's around still.
Okay, Boomer Girl.
She's still around.
Is she still around?
She's just less relevant.
But
kind of a one-hit wonder.
Is Amaranth on YouTube or is she on?
She's still on Twitch.
She's on Twitch.
And so like it's got to be scary, and it is in a way. I've been thinking about this more recently. It's relevant here because we've started to pay closer attention to thumbnails. I edit out words now in thumbnails. Like I had to edit out the word nude. Like I had to put an asterisk there. I had to put the word. I had to put a like a little asterisk instead of the U. And I've noticed that since I've started being more careful with like the language in the thumbnails, I had to do it yesterday. I had to take domestic violence out of the thumbnail about Jonathan Majors, and it immediately fixed the ad revenue status for that video.
Self-censorship is rewarded on all platforms.
It is in a lot of ways. And it's for creators, for content creators. That's a scary thing when your livelihood is dependent on these companies, which is why the smartest ones create brand deals and start to build organizational structure and financial incentives outside of the, just the streaming part of the platform. But it's
smart,
hard.
or is it just what you have to do?
It's what you have. I mean, it's like survival of the fittest, right? Like you end up having to do that. So
the simulated sexual activity in GTA thing doesn't make sense because that's an integral part of
the game
GTA. And I didn't know people, like you said, Brett, were still streaming this game.
Neither did I. Have you ever seen that clip where it's like the guy? It's the clip where the character's like talking to him. She's like trying to grab him, and he goes no, and he goes, well, she goes, well, I'm leaving. Then she opens the door to gets out and falls off a cliff. Like the car's parked at the edge of a cliff.
So in the simulated sex thing, I thought that the last I remember playing this was like 2013, 14. What I know that's like ancient history, but didn't the game like stop allowing you to literally watch that, and then there were like workarounds around it? Or
there's probably mods, right? So so, but this is what they said. So it says, according to Twitch community guidelines, sexually suggestive content is prohibited on the platform.
That's
Quote,
bullshit.
To ensure, I know, right?
That's such bullshit.
Tell that to tell that to Amaranth.
Unless you're doing ASMR ear licking videos, then you're A-okay on the platform. That's totally allowed.
It's hot female privilege, I tell you. It's hot female privilege. They're allowed.
Insane.
To ensure content on Twitch is appropriate for diverse audiences. What does that mean?
Diverse audiences.
What you mean, all audiences?
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
that doesn't make any sense to me.
It's like people just use words. They don't even care what they mean anymore. Sexually suggestive content is prohibited on Twitch unless you're Amaranth. It doesn't actually say that last part. I made that part up.
Independent of user attire, because cleavage titty streams are totally allowed.
Yes.
Instead, based on the overall surrounding framing and context. So if you're in a hot tub, you're allowed to be wearing a bikini.
I'm going to tell you right now, there is nobody more industrious than these young female Twitch streamers. They always find a way. They are the true capitalists in our society. They have a market that needs to be filled, and they find a way. They always find a way.
It's just funny how male streamers seem to be the only ones getting punished on Twitch for having edgy content. Yeah. So it's Cenat, Aiden, Clicks, Aiden Ross.
Yeah.
And then KSI. You said KSI recently also had a...
Yes, KSI said...
they can't say it.
I can't say the word. KSI said a word that is offensive to, let's say, like, in British usage, Asian, which in American usage would be Indian people. Yeah. And he had to apologize. And
that was like right after his appearance on WrestleMania.
Right.
Like right after.
Literally right afterwards.
People from Pakistan?
Yes, people from Pakistan, people from India, etc. would take offense to it. And it's a word that him and his mates on, what is it, the Sidemen, they are aware of the word. And they are aware that it also, I think one of his mates there is South Asian on the show. Yeah. And also they didn't react to it in a way that would make it seem as though they were actually angry. They all laughed and they all realized it was a joke, but some people were like, I won't stand for this, and it's a typical story, and then had to apologize for it. So
I've heard that Kick is not the greatest platform. From what I've been told, I've seen more than a few people saying that it's not a healthy alternative right now. I don't know.
I thought there was I read now here seeing KICK, but there's another like chat app called like Kick, KIK.
Yeah.
Is that another thing? Is it just the same pronunciation? It's a different app though, right?
Yeah.
Different app.
Different
rampantly,
thing.
Notoriously used by child predators.
Oh,
the
okay.
KIK one.
Shows how much I know. Not very much.
Nicki
but...
Minaj actually commented on this, right?
This is a funny development. She addressed the recent ban of Cenat on a recent live stream that she did, a Q&A session with her fans, questioned why the authorities would prevent him from streaming, and urged them to let him continue doing what he loves. She expressed her fondness for Cenat, saying she really likes him and would be interested in appearing on his stream. Isn't it funny to see
a mainstream celebrity? It's like, I would love to appear on your stream.
And possibly like go on Twitch where it's obviously unedited content, and you're like open to criticism.
Yep.
And I'm surprised she even knows of Cenat's existence in the first place.
Oh, I'm not. I'm actually like, I think a lot of them end up, a lot of these celebrities are starting to realize that they can make a lot of extra money and visibility on these platforms. It's one of the things that's
but they're falling behind with knowing.
It's one of the things that's been really funny about pro wrestling, because in pro wrestling, a lot of wrestlers seem to be gamers, right? And a lot of them had really popular Twitch channels. And WWE's like, nope, we're taking all the money from that because you're under contract to us, even though they're technically independent contractors. So a lot of them stop streaming because they're like, I'm not going to make you money by like, why would I do that? Like, it's like, I can better use my time, or you just demonetize it or something like that. Why would I want to give you all of that money? But depending on who you work for, if these people work purely for themselves, there's just a lot of money to be made. And people that are mainstream celebrities, if they're smart, will be starting to cross promote on platforms that are not just whatever movies, TV, or music they make. Right?
Yeah. I'm interested to see if Twitch will explain the ban.
But it's got to be hard, right? We haven't had any type of. I believe for 110% we've been shadow banned for periods of time, or at least we've had slower than normal growth that didn't seem explainable given the trajectory we were on prior. Right?
Yeah.
Like where things just slowed down to a crawl and there wasn't really an explanation.
A lot
as
of
to
other
why.
channels would say the same.
Yeah, and to be fair, a lot of it did seem to be connected when we would skirt the line on topics that seemed to be spicier. And I just never put much thought to it before because we were a smaller channel, so I just didn't think that we had to worry about it in the same way that like an IRL or a bigger channel has to worry about something like that. There's a lot more at stake for them, or at least there would have been at the time. So I have no idea, but I just know that it's very terrifying when you put so many of your eggs into one basket. That's why I've been promoting more to also check out, if you listen to the podcast, like for us, you can listen on Spotify or Apple Music or Amazon or all of these platforms, and that there's multiple ways, or merch store, things like that. You can no longer be like a one-trick pony. Right. If you're going to work in these, platforms, you have to diversify.
Yeah, so. I think it's something that I've always thought about this. It's like, but then you've seen YouTubers already recognize that years ago.
Adpocalypse.
Yeah, but even around that time, people were making making diss tracks, etc., things that were like, they were still on YouTube, but they realized that, okay, well, me just doing my main thing is going to eventually grow stale. I need to like diversify and something like that. I think this is kind of part of that, in the sense that people are realizing that, like, I can't just be on Twitch. I can't just live stream. I have to do something else. Eventually, people are going to not want to watch your live stream. Eventually, you said everything you can do. You have to do something, you have to do something else.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's weird. It's sad to see that, because
one day me and Mary will have to just drag our asses outside and say, "What's your body count?" And we're gonna have to start asking people man on the street questions.
I'm down. I'll do it.
And like, what would you ask them if you were to ask them questions? What do you like? Tell me about your relationship with Jesus.
I don't know. You're putting me on the spot. I'll come up with it.
I would need to know, like, I imagine you could come up with some great questions for people. Tell me your thoughts on Thomas Aquinas.
They'd be like, who is that?
Will you watch an episode of Pints with Aquinas with me? But we would have to diversify and go do not just man on the street interviews, but we'd have to do even worse. We'd have to go do like viral videos of some sort. And
what are your pronouns?
What are your pronouns? All that stuff. But most of those, like a lot of those people that come up with that stuff are very, very creative. So we would have to come up with our own little sub. What would we do? We'd have to be around here, right? So we'd have to go to some place around. We go to DC. And be like, hey, talk to me about anything but politics. Like, it'd be cool to be able to talk to politicians and be like, ask them questions about literally anything but politics.
Yeah, I wonder what they talk about.
What the hell does Lauren Boebert watch? Like, I want to know what's on her Amazon Prime queue or her Netflix queue. I need to know.
That's actually a good question.
Like, I would like that. That would be. We should see if we can ask Tim.
And they're like, no,
next time Tim goes to Congress, be like, can you ask this question?
They probably don't watch.
They don't have time.
A lot of TV.
No, but the thing is, it's a question they need to be prepared for because they want to always appear relatable to people. Yep. Mm-hmm. So they have to be like, they have to go then to their advisor and be like, what the hell are the kids watching these days? They're like, oh, I love that Wednesday show. That Jenna
was
Ortega.
It Tuesday?
Or was it Tuesday or was it Thursday?
Jennifer Coolidge.
and then they have to give you an answer. I mean, a lot of like traditional media does those things where they have the celebrity answer, like answer the internet's most common questions.
Oh yeah.
I
forget who that was. Who does that?
Or Vanity Fair or something like that.
Wired or something.
And Daily Wire did the thing where they did a similar version of that with Brett Cooper, where they had Brett Cooper like look up her own name on Google and stuff like that, and it's very endearing.
Yeah.
So, all right, we got some super chats there, Mary.
Yeah, we got a ton here. BS said, it feels like people who transition are running from their problems rather than working through them. Everyone has problems, but our society is not adult enough to address them.
I got logged out of YouTube a while ago. That's why I don't have a bunch of the super chats here.
I think that's the sentiment a lot of people were echoing on Twitter about the Chris situation, is they were saying, you know, he's running from the responsibilities of being a husband and a father, which I guess I understand on some level, but
I don't think we
don't know really what's going on behind the scenes.
We don't know if that's for sure that's the reason why he's doing this. I don't think you can say that.
Disco Jensen said Jason Momoa will be cast in the Netflix adaptation of The Rise and Fall of Jonathan Majors.
Wow.
No, they'll cast Jake Gyllenhaal for
documentary.
that. They'll cast Jake Gyllenhaal.
Dramatized docu-series.
Also, guys, there's speaking of Jason Momoa, it's only tangentially connected to Jason Momoa. The Honest trailer for Shazam: Fury of the Gods went up today, and it's freaking hilarious. So go check that out after you're done here today.
There's a new Shazam?
Came out like a month ago.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I'm so plugged in. I know everything that's happening, guys.
Me too,
wow.
bro.
Andrew Jacobs said, Mary is not pale. She's angelic.
There you go.
Why are these things mutually exclusive?
Yesterday, somebody like definitely commented on both of our complexions when I turned the lights off to try and fix the...
Well, it did a thing where it made me look like actually paper white. So that is not what I really look like. I promise. Sketch Therapy said, so the audio engineer is... unsung hero of music.
That's you.
Yeah. That is me. It's engineer, producer, mix engineer, mastering engineer. There's way more that goes into it than just one person. And often when you have you see a whole bunch of writers on a person's track, usually in my experience, that means that there's a bunch of people that are around that are inside the room, inside the studio when the track gets written, and some of them get writing credits. They don't necessarily deserve them, right? And then in the future, this person was on this track, and then I go and meet them and talk to them in the studio, and I'm like, oh, you wrote this song, then I find out, oh, you don't really do.
They're like, I was actually
you were just there.
I was playing solitaire on my phone when that song was written.
Seriously, seriously, they were just on Instagram on their phone or whatever, and then it's like, oh, well, this is gonna be me doing all this work. It's like you don't know what you're talking about, but anyways.
Sketch Therapy said just leveling gain on 140 tracks sounds nightmarish.
Yeah, it sucks. It sucks. I've had to do it before. Luckily, they split it apart to certain things, but it sucks. It does suck.
Mark Daga said, play AI Alex Jones, I Kissed a Frog. It's spot on.
Is that a thing?
I kissed a frog and I liked it.
I gotta look it up. I'm gonna look it up.
It turned me gay.
Oh man, I'm going to look it up. And then we got a $20 one that just came there.
X said the societal construct of gender falls apart under reductio ad absurdum. Biological fact remains that there are personality differences is valid as a description, not a prescription. Gender exists the way Democrats exist.
Oh, I'm not smart enough to be able to deconstruct that.
Gender
It's not
exists.
about how smart you are. It's just
I still don't think. I think you can maybe use the word gender. You have to prove that gender exists to me first. Like I just don't.
I've got
a word that was made up to like cover something we already just considered sex. Like,
This was never the way I planned.
no.
wow.
Wait, no, keep playing.
I wanna
Keep
hear that.
playing.
Yeah,
Keep
please play
going.
that.
Here we
That's
go,
great.
guys.
Not my intention. Those chemicals in the water, they got me bad. Lost my discretion.
Wow.
It's not what
Yes.
I'm used to.
Go off, King.
But your ribbits turn me on.
Your
Fury. As for you, gotta get you in my hands. I kissed a frog and I liked it. The taste
Yes,
of the
Alex.
flies on his lips. I kissed a frog just to try it. I hope I don't get salmonella. It felt so wrong, it felt so right. Don't mean I'm in love tonight. I kissed a frog and I liked it. I liked it.
Wow. I can hear the pitching happening in that, but that's good.
I'm obsessed. I think Alex
pretty
Jones
good.
might have a future career change
Yeah.
into music.
I could see that.
Love that.
Like
Your rivets turning me on.
Feels so wrong. Feels so right. Yeah.
Ethan Van Sciver
Something about
should
the
use-
hormones in the water. from
Ethan Van Sciver
birth
should
control.
include this in the next Cyber Frog somehow.
I kissed a cyber frog
And I liked
liked
it. Yes.
Wow. That was
Love
wild.
that. Thank you for the recommendation.
Yeah,
That was
thank you.
amazing.
I really appreciate that. Was good.
Nits86 said fiber art is the art of the future. No AI on that. What does that mean?
Art meaning like macrame. They have to like. Do you know what macrame is?
I have no idea what that is.
You have to like describe. I don't know what fiber means. That could be
Hmm.
anything.
Explain. I mean, maybe it's knitting. It's
Yeah.
from someone named Knits.
Oh, okay. That's macrame is tangential to knitting, etc.
Okay. T-Bone said, Brett, last night I promised you I'd super chat today. Here's what I have to say. Sir Surge, you are doing amazing and you really should join Discord. You're doing amazing, sweetie.
Thanks. No. I don't know what to tell you. I have too much to go like going on in my life. I just can't have another app.
Fair.
Well,
It's just too much.
You know what?
Fair.
Like last night at 2:30 in the morning, somebody added me and said, I bet Brett's awake. And I said,
I bet
Brett's awake. And I said, you won that bet. And then like put my phone down for the rest of the night.
Yeah, true.
I let them know I was in fact awake.
Yeah, I mean, I struggle to answer just regular stuff on my phone.
Yes.
Let alone another thing, another app. It's like, dude,
I try very
man, come on.
hard to respond as much as possible, but then I feel bad when I don't.
Me too. I have
like,
so many
yes.
message requests from people that are not just mogging me, and it's like, dude, I can't. I just can't do it. I
can
honestly
never mog
try.
you.
I try.
All right, let's hold off on the rest and let's finish on
Okay.
J.K. Rowling because J.K. Rowling is a
Yes.
lightning rod for bad news and controversy abound. Twitter activists call for boycott of new Harry Potter Max series. They say, quote, "We don't want to give that turf J.K. Rowling any
That
more
turf.
money." That turf. Look, these people are going to be just as like you think the people complaining about Bud Light are loud. These people are going to be even louder, just more terminally online, right?
Right.
I think that the people boycotting Bud Light will have an easier time not buying Bud Light and just finding another beer than these people who are like addicted to Harry Potter but hate J.K. Rowling will have, trying to disconnect themselves from Harry Potter when they clearly love it.
Are they actually going to cancel their HBO Max or
Do
I guess
they-
now
they-
Max subscriptions?
These people just torrent it anyways.
Yeah.
These people aren't paying for HBO Max. Samuel says
Really?
I mean, I'm sure they are.
I don't know.
Samuel says, just a friendly reminder that J.K. Rowling is basically the leader of the trans genocide campaign.
Please.
But sure, enjoy your precious Harry Potter at the expense of trans lives. Thanks, HBO Max, for showing me your true effing colors. Your hyperbole is embarrassing.
You're talking to HBO Max, a mega corporation, like it's your friend
Yeah.
who
Yeah,
just
like
showed
your
you
mates.
their true effing colors.
But this is one of
Did
this
you have
is-
a falling out with Warner Brothers Discovery?
He's like he knows both of the brothers in the Warner Brothers. Like he's friends with both of them. And this is one of my
They were
problems.
childhood friends.
Yeah, this is one of my problems that I've had with people for long before I became politically awakened and aware. I always wondered why people expected corporations to act like people. They're not going to act like people. They're never going to
not.
act like people. They're going to go where the money is, or in a lot of cases these days, they're going to go where the ESG funding is, I guess. But for this, I
right
was like, well,
store.
what do you expect them to do? Like, this is what's going to happen. Judy Blume, 85-year-old geriatric Judy Blume, has to issue an apology because she thinks the backlash against J.K. Rowling is over the top.
It's just wild.
Yeah, that was a bizarre development.
I also
She said she had 100% support for J.K. Rowling.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, she was aware of the context of saying that when she said it.
Yeah.
But then this is what she posted on Twitter after her interview. I wholly support the trans community. My point, which was taken out of context, is that I can empathize with a writer or person who has been harassed online. I stand with the trans community and vehemently disagree with anyone who does not fully support equality
Dude.
and acceptance of LGBTQIA plus people.
She does
Anything
not
to
know
the
what that means.
contrary
She's
is
85.
total BS. And then she posted an excerpt from a different interview that she did where she was like talking about how there should be books that address gender and sexuality in kids' libraries. So yeah, I don't really sympathize with this person.
And reading this, I'm seeing this person that says, let's get a timeline here, and it's talking about how Daniel Radcliffe started working with the Trevor Project. The Trevor Project was never specifically about trans rights. It's not because he's supporting trans stories to be heard, as they say in this mention here. It's like that's not what it was. Trevor Project was about LGBTQ and like suicide and suicide prevention, which is not. It's just a false equivalency.
Well, because they've billed themselves as an anti-suicide campaign rather than anything specifically having to do with like transgender or whatever.
Yeah.
Anything they do then is shielded by that.
Yeah.
Anything that the Trevor Project does or supports or advocates for is shielded by the message that they're anti-suicide. And it's like, if you disagree with them about anything, they're like, oh, you want people
So
to...
you're pro-suicide, huh?
Yeah, you want people to hurt themselves? Like, that's the disingenuous angle they come from.
I mean, that's where...
And now Daniel Radcliffe's bizarre sponsorship deal with them or whatever it is.
It's where names like...
continues.
It's why there's power behind names like Black Lives Matter. Because if you push back on the group, they're like,
The
so what
language.
you're saying
Yeah,
is...
you don't care about Black lives. Right?
So this person, I had a pony on Twitter, says, of course Judy Blume is a TERF because nothing can ever be good in this world. Dude, the idea that you can expect an 85-year-old woman to share all of your beliefs and then be angry when she doesn't is the height of privilege and delusion.
Regarding the HBO Max show, Quinn, they, them, said, I really hope people actually boycott HBO Max over this stupid effing Harry Potter show. No one asked for that. They did, though. And we sure as F don't want to give that TERF any more money. Cancel your account and give that money to a trans organization instead. And for those of you who don't see why this is an issue or don't want to miss your shows that are currently on there, F you too.
See, at least the people that are boycotting Bud Light are hopeful. I mean, I thought the Kid Rock thing was cringy. Shooting the
There
Bud
was a
Light.
different country
I did.
singer
Yeah,
that just
yeah.
blew up a can of Bud Light on stage.
I think all of that is cringy.
It
I
is.
do. I think
It
it's
really
super
is.
cringy.
How do we feel about boycotts and who is more capable of making them actually work?
I think in this case, I mean, when was the last time, maybe chat can help me out on this. When was the last time a strong boycott led to something. I can't think of it off the top of my head. I'm sure there's a good example of it, right? Of a time when a boycott actually worked really well.
I mean, it must have been easier maybe before the internet was a factor and something affected a local community and they all felt the same way about it. But if you're asking people to boycott HBO Max over a niche issue that is really only talked about by people who are chronically online, then nothing is going to happen. Most people who are fans of Harry Potter have no clue or not a care in the world about J.K. Rowling's opinions on anything. Enough to cancel an HBO Max subscription. Right. That's a show that I'm guessing a lot of people are going to watch.
I can't remember the last time a strong boycott actually worked towards something. There's probably a good... I mean, I know that Dove, right, lost, or Gillette lost some market share when the Gillette boycott happened, I guess, but it's not like their products are still everywhere, right? Maybe they lost some market share, but most of those are owned by it's owned by like what, Johnson & Johnson or something like that, or some larger conglomerate.
Everything's owned by like 5 companies.
Yeah, so
which makes boycotting totally ineffectual.
Well, somebody did that. They pointed out. They said if you're gonna boycott, it wasn't Bud Light. What was the most recent thing that was boycotted before Bud Light? There was something else recently too that people were calling for a boycott of.
I probably memory hold it,
and
like
it was a drink of some, or was a drink, or was a food item of some sort. And then somebody pointed out like all of the items. It was like, was it Pepsi or
M&Ms,
or M&Ms, or okay.
It was M&Ms.
And on the list of things that were also owned by that company was like Skinny Pop popcorn.
Right.
And I was like, so everyone here loses. If you're boycotting them, you lost.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah,
like,
there's no such thing as living in the modern world and not giving money to people who hate you.
Yeah,
kind of,
pretty much.
Like, or at the very least, it would require an
select
insane...
your battles accordingly.
Right, unless you like buy local everything, you know.
Yeah, which is kind of impossible.
It's really difficult to do.
It would require an insane amount of research to be done.
What are you going to do? Drill for fossil fuels yourself and fill your car with them?
And it's not available everywhere. Like you can't, not everywhere in every local place. You can't buy like, let's just use a random example. You can't buy like milk everywhere because there's not a lot of dairies everywhere that are going to be producing milk for you. There's not a lot of people that are producing whatever kind of food. It's really difficult to do.
There are people from different walks of life, and if you want to have public intellectuals on your side, they usually live in cities, and you can't live in a city and buy local all the time.
Here's the other thing. Emma Watson also shaded J.K. Rowling on like her like weird birthday post where she like shouted out like people that have helped her in her life but didn't shout out J.K. Rowling, and shouted out all her witches again, which is like her slight at J.K. Rowling. Another thing is like right now, when you really think about it, any reporter that asks you a question, a public figure, a question about J.K. Rowling is putting a gun to your head. They're like, what are your thoughts on J.K. Rowling? And you're like, thank you for giving me a lose-lose situation.
Yeah, but I mean, the journalists kind of don't have a choice in asking about it. It's what everyone wants to know. It's
but I don't. Yeah, that 10 years. No, not even 10 years ago. 30 years ago, I might have given those journalists the benefit of the doubt that they weren't activists as well. Now I'm not giving them any such benefit of the doubt.
I'm not super curious about the Harry Potter show because I'm not a Harry Potter fan. Yeah. I'm more concerned with what the cultural shifts around it will in the conversation around it. Just like Hogwarts Legacy, I didn't buy Hogwarts Legacy. I don't play video games, but we talked a lot about it. And we're highly engaged in a conversation about it that is not relevant to 99.999%.
Not to normal people. They won't care about stuff like this. It's just so weird because they're so like, boycott Bud Light all you want. Most of the people that are boycotting Bud Light don't have like a deep connection to Bud Light. But a lot of the people that are now boycotting Harry Potter have a deeply felt connection to the author and thus the product and thus the author.
Right, like all things are not the same. Exactly. Like not all products are the same. A beer drinking dude that doesn't really, pay attention to the news and just, in West Virginia works in coal.
He's buying Bud Light because he doesn't care. He doesn't know. He doesn't know there's a boycott. He doesn't know any. He's like Dylan Mulvaney. Like he doesn't. I don't know who the hell that is. Like he's not looking on TikTok for videos of Dylan Mulvaney. Exactly. It's just happening. So. Exactly. But the people that are boycotting J.K. Rowling are terminally online. Therefore, they're more connected.
I think that as well. Like it's something that connects people's childhoods.
Yes.
In a lot of ways. Yeah. It's something that they grew up reading Harry Potter.
And nostalgia is very important right now.
At least within our age demographic. I'm looking at Mary to wonder if did you ever read Harry Potter when you were a child?
I didn't. I wasn't allowed to watch or read it. So
My mother was the same way. She didn't allow me to read it because it was witchcraft, and that wasn't going to be in my house. But I did anyways. So at the same time, like it's getting to the point now where our generation, I would say, if we're the same generation, Brett, roughly, it's prescient now, but I don't think it will be in another 5, 6, 7, maybe 10 years. It'll be much less because even less people are going to be actually reading this. I don't know, do people in your generation that were like, not your generation as if it's so far removed, but did your peers during school, I know you went to Catholic school, correct?
And Protestant school.
Okay.
Which is even, like, I think their parents were even strict.
Yeah, I went to Lutheran school for a while as well. Were they reading, people your age, were they reading Harry Potter?
I mean, it was like we didn't talk about it. It was not relevant. They weren't allowed. No one I knew was allowed to watch it. I wasn't allowed to watch it. In fact, I was allowed to watch more things than they were most of the time. And so I don't have an accurate view of this. I'm sure if I went to secular schools, though, everyone would have been talking about it. It would have been really relevant.
It was extremely relevant to my generation.
Yes,
and to your generation, far more even.
Yes.
If I went to public school, I'm sure there would be a lot of Harry Potter fans, but it would have been a lot less than anyway.
Okay.
Like, it's waned in relevance a little bit.
All right. We got some super chats there, right?
Yes. Corey Anderson said, every child that was ever born feet first for a brief moment wore their mother as a hat. That's incredibly disturbing.
There was another video. Did we talk about this in the air the other day? Where this lady made a video where she goes, like, every guy, like, it doesn't matter how much time you spend inside your girlfriend or wife, you'll never be inside her as long as you were inside your mother.
Bruh. Yeah. I don't even like thinking about this.
Okay, cool, nice. But it's odd because like you're not talking about the same exact place at all.
Musings of
and then they said, and then basically said it's like you can never expect him to love you as much. Or something like that.
Oh no. The mommy issues are showing.
Wow.
Spaghetti Warrior 66 said Mary getting roasted on PCC subreddit.
Are they just upset that you called out their memes?
I don't know, but thank you for the $5 to let us know.
Thank you.
And I wasn't gonna visit that website anyway. X said, Serge, you've got it. That's exactly the point. They were talking about sex and gender. Yeah. But I get what you're getting at. Like, gender and sex were synonymous before gender as a term was used to divorce the two and allow gender expression to divorce itself from your biological sex.
And also used to obfuscate the discussion.
I wouldn't say that means that gendered pronouns are societally detrimental. They were always used before this insanity ensued.
Pronouns. Yes. I just don't like the neo-pronouns.
The neo-pronouns are totally different.
It's absurd to me. Yeah.
Clef the Misfit said, they want to talk all the time about trans rights, but let's talk about trans wrongs.
Oh, all right.
Nice.
LOL. Jane H. Wilder said, I put aside the book I'm writing in order to enter the PCC meme wars. Man, it's so effing stupid. Tweeting it after the show.
Excellent.
The PCC meme wars. Are
you guys have a meme war going on?
Ongoing.
I'll join.
Ongoing.
Hashtag PCC meme review.
I am ending the poll, ladies and gentlemen, about Jonathan Majors. I was asking everyone whether it was an overreaction, what is happening to him, and it looks like 70% of people are saying, 69% say yes, 30% say no, which leaves 1% unaccounted for.
Interesting.
Why is it always 1% that isn't counted?
I have no idea. No idea why that is.
YouTube polls does not work.
Yep, it's broken. Frankly, I think that votes are coming in at 3 a.m, and they're most likely written in ballots. That's the problem. All right, guys. Before we go, could you please hit the like button on this video and subscribe to this channel if you have not done so already? Thank you so much for joining us today. My friend Serge, let everyone know where they can find you.
Hey guys, you can find me on Twitter at KellenPDL. That is my personal Twitter. And everywhere else I'm at Serge.com.
So funny, Serge.
Yeah, it's so funny. It's definitely tired, but I'm just trying to help Kellen out, get more people on his page. So
Okay.
yeah. Otherwise, I'm at surge.com. See you later.
All right, Mary, where can they find you?
You can send me validation on Instagram at Mary Archived, or send me hate on Twitter. That is also Mary Archived.
Guys, if you'd like to follow me, you can follow me on Instagram and Twitter. Oh, there's one that just came in right there.
Evan Perry said the 1% get mailed in.
Yeah, we're still waiting on those 1%
yeah.
of votes. Yep. Guys, if you want to follow me, you can follow me on Instagram and Twitter at Brett Dasovic on both of those platforms. This show is here Monday through Friday, 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That is noon Pacific. If you'd like to listen to this podcast, we are on Amazon Music, Apple Podcasts, Pandora, and Spotify. And if you'd like to follow the show on social media, we are on Twitter at PopCulture_show, Facebook and TikTok at Pop Culture Crisis, and on Instagram at Pop Culture Crisis Pod. We will be back with another episode tomorrow. We'll see you then, guys.
Bye.
Bye.